Rangit?
Yeah, yes. I'm
Acha,
ready. We
no,
can
I
start.
think we have to do something so that students can hear us. Is that part ready? Or can you
Um,
just get some information
that
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 students are getting whatever we are telling?
no, I don't think Shubhajit is visible there. I see. Um, Rajat will give us a green signal.
Rangit?
Rajat and
Yeah.
Arnav.
Yes.
They have to give
I'm
us a
ready.
green signal and then we
No, I think
start.
we have to do something so that students can hear us. Is that part? Uh, can we get some information from the students that they can hear us? Rangit is writing that everyone, I have missed it. Everyone can hear us, right? Okay, fine. I am going to share the screen. Hello, students. I hope you have already got who people are going to talk today. And let me inform you at the very beginning that our director will give you some inspiring talk at the end. And I hope you will really be benefited out of that. So please wait for that also. Here we are going to give a couple of outlines about academic section related to academic things in this institute. Uh, Sometime we call it academic office, sometime we call it academic cell. This takes care of everything related to direct academic things of the institute. You can see this contact ACADOAFF acad@ijarpol.ac.in. Any kind of query, whatever you have, you can send it directly to acad. And I will request all of you to go through the link, whatever we have given here, this intranet.ijarpol.ac.in/wiki/wheeler. Uh, you have already got one list of FAQs, and I hope you have already gone through that. Those who couldn't go through, please go through this document carefully. You will get a lot of information from there. Maybe a lot of questions will be answered to that itself. After that also, if you have any query, you can write it directly to acad. Here probably you know that we have two things, pre-major and major, two kinds of thing we have. In first year, you have to go through a couple of courses from all the departments. Then in second year, you have to choose three pre-major subjects out of physics, physical sciences, chemical sciences, biological sciences, earth sciences, and mathematics and statistics. Out of mathematical sciences, out of these five, you have to choose any three. And from these three, you have to choose in the third year one which will be your major. While doing major, you will have the opportunity to take different courses from different departments, just to take care of this interdisciplinary thing, so that you know a lot of things of other subjects as well. The idea of this is that uh, once you have to solve some problem does not become something problem of mathematics, or problem of physics, or problem of biology. There is a problem, and in order to solve that particular problem, sometimes it is required that only knowledge of a particular subject may not be sufficient. In that case, you may need some knowledge of other subjects as well. So just looking this thing into mind, our structure has been made interdisciplinary in nature. As far as your admission is concerned, I hope you have already got this information from our assistant registrar, Dr. Susmita Bhattacharya, that you have to submit all your mark sheets, certificates, supporting documents of the qualifying examination. If you have any category certificates, everything within 30 days from the date of admission. That you don't miss. You have to do that. For PhD students, I will tell that if you are provisionally admitted, then you will not get any scholarship. But once everything is clear and your your admission is completed, not provisional, in that there you will get all your fellowship, whatever is not paid as arrear. You see that your admission, this is very important thing, that your admission may be cancelled if one fails to submit the required documents by the specified date. And if you have given some false information or you have suppressed some relevant information about yourself, in that case also your admission may be cancelled. Once you are admitted, then also your admission may be cancelled on the grounds of unsatisfactory academic performance. Sorry, probably it has oh yeah, irregular attendance in the class. I will come to the details of this attendance part. And if you do some kind of indiscipline, you become indisciplined in the institute. Rangit, can you tell me, can you see this screen?
Yes, it is visible. It is visible now.
Yeah, it's clear. You can make it bigger by pressing this
I
cross
made it
button.
actually full screen. I made it full screen. Somehow it has become a bit smaller.
Just cross the button next to the bookmarks.
Next to bookmarks. No, I am.
There is a cross
yeah.
button.
Now it has become. Still,
No.
I think it will be again be bigger. No, it is still there.
It's okay. I think
No.
it's quite visible.
It is visible, right? Okay.
Yes.
Somehow it is not going to presentation mode. Just let me try again. Maybe I can try it again, because I cannot change the slide. I'm just presenting the yes, stopping the presentation for the timing, and I am again going to present it. I hope now it is okay, right? You can see it now, right? Hello?
Yeah, we can see it. It's exactly the same way it was. It's fine. I mean,
it is visible.
No, that's
I think they can
it's
understand.
visible,
what
but actually problem is that I cannot change the slide. This has become another problem.
you scroll it down. It's PDF file, so you have just to you can scroll down from the sidebar.
That also is not working, because it is actually in the presentation mode. I don't know why it is happening like this. Can you see it now?
No, it's blank. No presentation.
No
And
presentation.
also, I think Rajat or Arnav will have to make sure that whatever you were presenting, that particular screen goes on.
Is this visible now?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yeah, it's perfect now. It's good.
Okay. Some important things are that in every semester you have to register yourself for our course. through this pre-registration portal by paying the requisite fees, and dates of which will be announced in the academic calendar available in our website. During offline classes, every student is required to be present and complete the registration. As far as your online classes are concerned, you can make this your registration thing online, but once it is offline, it is required that you will be present here for this registration part. One may argue like this, that payment will be done online, then what is the necessity of coming physically for offline classes, at least for the presentation or registration part? The idea is very simple, that sometimes it happens that people pay fees online but come little bit late after the classes start. So we want it to be sure that before the classes start you are here. That's why for your registration we need that you should be physically present in the institute. Of course, again I am telling when the offline classes will start. There is a provision of late registration, but only in special cases with permission of Dean of Academic Affairs and Dean of Student Affairs, with a late registration fee of rupees 1,000, but it may vary from time to time. Registration will be cancelled if one remains absent for a period of 4 weeks at a stretch without any information. But if it happens somehow, then you have the provision that you can appeal to the Chairman Senate, which is our director. You know that we have 2 semesters. Autumn is from August to December, and spring semester from January to May, and June, July you will get summer vacation. But for your case, it is not that, because your admission is late. In January, you are going to start your autumn semester. So as a result, this year you are not going to get any summer. Dates of registration, mid semester, end semester, all those things, all those details you will get in the academic calendar. This is some division of marks for exams. We have 100 marks for each subject, and mid semester is 20, end semester is 50, and internal assessment is 30. This is more or less, we follow this kind of breakup. For offline classes, it is expected that the instructors will announce this division of marks for internal assessment, how it will be evaluated. Internal assessment of 30 marks. For first year, second year, and third year, faculty members are supposed to follow this. But because of this pandemic situation, we are not going to follow this strictly, and we give freedom to our instructors to reshuffle these 100 marks as is fit for this particular class. But for offline classes, for first year, second year, and third year, we follow this. But for fifth year and sixth year, students have, instructor has the freedom to change it, of course, in consultation with the students, this mode of evaluation, and that should be announced to the students within a fortnight of the beginning of a semester. That is mandatory. So the thing is that if you think that teacher is not giving this your mode of evaluation for 4th and 5th level, then you insist your instructor to give this breakup to you as early as possible, possibly within fortnight. You have your tutorial classes in different subjects, but let me make it one thing clear over here, that tutorial is not that your whoever will be teaching assistant or the instructor will solve problem and you will just see how it is solved. It is not that. It is eventually assisted problem solving. You will have to solve problem given by the instructor and the teaching assistants, and if you have any trouble in solving problem, then only they will help you, they will assist you. So that's why I have written tutorial classes are for assisted problem solving. Regarding attendance, as far as your attendance is concerned, for offline classes, lectures, tutorial, laboratories, everywhere you have to be present. If your attendance somehow goes below 70%, then you may be debarred from a particular examination. But as far as your online classes are concerned, there we cannot implement this 70% because you may have some your network problem and all those issues. So here, until offline classes start, we are not going to implement this 70% thing. But we expect that until and unless there is some network issues, you will come to the class, attend the classes. That's eventually we expect. For fifth year students, fifth year BSMS, integrated PhD and PhD students, leave must be recommended by the supervisor. Then it will come to the academic office. If one falls sick during a semester, then you have to go to our institute doctor and you have to get the recommendation of the doctor recorded in the medical book, which will be given to you. And official leave will be granted on the basis of that only. But if you are not here, but if you are, say, at home, that time you can even see doctors outside. In that case, you have to, whenever you will be back to the campus, you have to get it endorsed by your institute doctor. If there is some kind of mental illness, we have here Mind Care and Wellness Center. We call it MCWC. We have institute counselors over there. You have to go there and you have to get the recommendation of the counselors. That will again record it in some. There should be some kind of what I should say, some prescription or something, some kind of documentation that you will produce to the academic office. That if you had this kind of problem and our counselor has suggested to follow this and that. Yeah, that's what I have already told, that if you are in vacation and you can have some problem, you can go to any doctor outside, and this must be endorsed by your institute doctor. This any doctor means actually it is something that your qualified doctor, in the sense that at least MBBS or something, so that it is endorsed properly by your institute doctor. It is mandatory to submit academic feedback. We take academic feedback about our course and about our instructor twice in a year, twice in a semester, once before mid-semester and once before end semester. So it is expected that all of you give your feedback. At least from there, we will be able to know how the course is running. If there is any problem with the course, problem with the instructor, all those things we must know. If you have your CGPA greater than or equal to 8, then during your fifth level, your fifth year, you can switch over from BSMS to our PhD program here. But you have to maintain this CGPA greater than or equal to 8 throughout your fifth level. If somewhere in between it goes below, then your candidature as PhD student will be cancelled immediately. If a BSMS student of IISER Kolkata joins the PhD program, the coursework may be partially or fully waived based on the recommendation of RPC, Research Progress Committee. This Research Progress Committee is one committee which takes care of your research, I should say research activities, and RPC and the department PGAC, Postgraduate Academic Committee, and your supervisor. And they can decide that whether your coursework will be fully waived or partially waived if you are switching over from our BSMS to PhD program. And we expect that our BSMS students who are going for PhD program over here, they will try to bring some external funding for themselves. It could be in terms of your NET, it could be in terms of your Inspire, it can be from DBT, whatever. There are different kinds of funding agencies. So you expect that you will get funding from some funding agencies. At least you will try to do that. There is one research ethics document available in the academic office and another safety rules which is available in the department. Fifth year BSMS students, integrated PhD and PhD students must sign both the documents and submit to the department office. That is essential and you must do that. Don't forget. Now, a couple of things specific to PhD students. Our Associate Dean of Academic Affairs, Professor Subhajit Bandyopadhyay, is present over here. I am going to tell a couple of things to our PhD students. If I miss something, And of course, if I miss something from our undergraduate thing, our undergraduate academic convener, Professor Rangit Bhattacharya, is present over here. He will give a talk, and specifically he will tell you the details of our online system and registration portal, everything he will tell. And if I miss in between, I hope Rangit will take care of this. And I will request Professor Shubhajit Bandopadhyay that if something I miss in our PhD program, whatever I am going to tell, please add at the end. Joining report, attested forms are to be submitted through the thesis supervisor to the academic office within 2 weeks of joining. So don't forget this. You have your studentship valid for 8 years. 5 years you will get as it is at a first stage. Then every year it will be extended based on the recommendation of Research Progress Committee. And every year you have to submit your annual progress report, and based on the recommendation of your Research Progress Committee, it may be extended beyond 5 years. And every year you have recommendation you should come from RPC in order to get your extension, and this may go all the way up to 8 years, not beyond that. You have to complete. It is expected that you will complete your PhD within 5 years. And if extension is needed, that will be as a special case, not always. One may continue fellowship from other external agencies. The thing is that if it is beyond 5 years, we don't give fellowship beyond 5 years. But suppose that you need 1 year extension and extension has been given, and your supervisor had some funding from some other funding agencies, then he or she can give you that funding. And there is some rule, and following that rule, you may get it. Supervisor will be assigned by the postgraduate academic committee within 2 weeks from the date of admission through mutual consent. Mutual consent, and that means postgraduate academic committee, your supervisor and student, they will decide. Postgraduate academic committee and the student, they will decide who will be your supervisor. Okay. Once supervisor is decided, then every time whatever problem you will face, you will go to your supervisor and he or she will take care of your problems. Here are different your credit requirements for different departments. Whatever you can see in the right side, this is the minimum credit requirements, whatever you have to do for your coursework. This is minimum. For different departments, DBS is 16 credits, DCS is 16 credits, DES, this is DBS, Department of Biological Sciences, Department of Chemical Sciences, Department of Earth Sciences, Department of Mathematics and Statistics, Department of Physical Sciences, this Computing and Data Sciences, and Humanities and Social Sciences. So you can see the different your minimum requirements of coursework credits, and you have to fulfill that. And this coursework, what are the courses you will take, that you must decide in consultation with your supervisor and PGAC convener of your department. And these minimum coursework, minimum credits must include one course on research methodology. This is a must for PhD students. The student should consult the PhD supervisor and PhD convener, before choosing any course, what I have already told. For integrated PhD and PhD courses, they are for integrated PhD students, all the PhD courses will be waived except the research methodology. The thing is that those who are doing integrated PhD over here, this integrated PhD is the integration of your MSc and PhD. Since you are doing your course, your MSc over here, so you no need to go for any PhD coursework for you people. But you have to do your research methodology course if you have not done this during your MSc part. For successful completion of a PhD coursework, minimum requirement is that you have to get C or above grade in each course. If you don't do that, for PhD students, eventually getting grade less than C is considered as a failure, and you have to go for your supplementary to clear that. And the thing is that if you cannot complete this using your supplementary, then you may have to leave this institute. it is required that you have to complete your coursework within the first 3 semesters. 2 semesters is definitely 2 semesters are used for your coursework. For 1 additional semester, you will get to complete your coursework of all courseworks of your PhD. Otherwise, you have to leave the institute. We have already told that research progress report for your, you have to submit research progress report every year, and for that you have to give one seminar in front of your research progress committee and your supervisor, and this report will come to the academic cell every year. So sometimes supervisors may forget, although it is not expected, but sometimes your supervisor may forget that when your 1 year is going to be complete, because sometimes supervisor may have quite a few students and some lot of other works one supervisor generally does. So in that case, you please remember that you have to submit your research progress report every year to the academic cell, and you remind this to your supervisor. Students with independent fellowship must initiate the process of fellowship activation. By independent fellowship, we mean that it's a fellowship from outside the institute. You must join and submit copies of relevant forms to the academic cell. And those who are institute funded PhD students, for you there will be no contingency, but for outside students the contingency rule will follow as per the your funding agency rule. You must go through this website, this www.iiacercol.ac.in. There you will find one tab, academic, and under that tab you will get academic guidelines. You go through these academic guidelines and follow this. If you have any problem, in spite of that, you can always write to ACADOF, whatever I have given at the beginning, and get it clarified. But don't tell that this rule I have got from my seniors and I am following that. Don't do that. If you have any doubt, straight away write to the academic office. You can ask your supervisor, and you can ask your head of the departments and get it clarified. Thank you very much. Shojit, I will request you that you tell some things to our students, and if you think that I have missed something, then please you add that. Students, now our Associate Dean of Academic Affairs, Professor Subhajit Bandyopadhyay, is going to tell you a couple of things.
Oh, thank you very much, Professor Nanda. So I think as far as the rules are concerned, primarily most of these important things that you should be doing has already been very clearly laid out by Professor Nanda. What I'm going to do is something very informal. I mean, yes, all these rules are there, the regulations are there, because in a big institute, the disciplines need to be followed. But I'll stress upon another thing. This institute is primarily for you and to nurture you, to help you grow and excel you in your life. That's why this whole system is there. Okay. Now, when you come to the institute, you realize that this is really a very friendly institute. Whenever you need some help with anyone, there are various systems in place for you. And we work together towards a problem, whether it's an academic problem or research problem. So you'll see it's really a very wonderful, friendly system. And because of the pandemic, you people are far away. We are here in the campus. But once, I hope that things become better very soon, and we get to see you very soon. You'd probably be coming here as soon as this, all these troubles are over. And we are really looking forward to it. I'm sure many of you would have various questions that is impossible to address in a few minutes, but keep us posted. I mean, you can post some of the questions in the YouTube chat box. If we can, we will address it now. But as Professor Nanda has said, we have the FAQ and the guidelines. Most of your queries would be addressed there. So read that carefully before asking any questions. And of course, these ACADOF email is there for you to address any of these questions that you think is not there. All right. Now, I primarily look at the PhD program of the institute. As Professor Nanda has mentioned, he looks after the undergraduate program, that is the BSMS program, and the first 2 years of the IPhD program. So anything that is related to your PhD program is primarily handled by our office. Okay. And right now, wherever you are, you please join the classes from, as it is mentioned, from the 3rd or the 4th of January.
3rd of January.
Yeah.
3rd of January.
3rd of January for the
PhD students. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. So from 4th of January onwards, please be regular in the classes and enjoy the classes. You'll see the classes are quite interactive. It would be through Google Meet, and you can ask questions, and there would be lots of discussions. So enjoy. I think that is the main thing that I want to tell everyone, whether you are a BSMS student or a PhD student. Enjoy being a part of our system. A very big welcome from ISER Kolkata. I hope you enjoy your time. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I would like to add one thing here, that our guidelines are updated time to time based on the decision of our Senate. If we take some decision over there, then some new rules may be added, and some old rules may again be modified. So time to time we modify that, and you have your SAC. They are supposed to inform you if there is any change, but time to time you can see our academic guidelines, and we always post the updated one. Now I request Professor Balaram Mukhopadhyay, who is Dean of Students Affairs, the main person as far as your stay in the campus is concerned, and Associate Dean of Student Affairs, Professor Malon Chota. Both of them take care of your hostels and everything, along with Chief Warden and other wardens. I request Professor Balaram Mukhopadhyay to address the students along with Professor Malon Chota. Both of you please take care of this now.
Okay. A very good morning to the students, the freshers, and a very warm welcome to the system of IISER Kolkata. Because of the unfortunate pandemic situation, it may so happen that we are going to physically meet a little bit later than expected. However, that is not going to stop any of our activity. So I am basically responsible for running the student affairs section. And the student affairs section, just outside of your academics, any other aspects if you think of, that will be dealt by the student affairs office. So first thing, what you have to take care of, after coming to the institute, you will be issued an identity card, and that identity card will give you the access to the library and most importantly to the mess. We have a mess system in the hostel. You will be allotted hostel rooms. At this moment, we are still not sure that when actually we can allow the first year BSMS batch to enter the campus, but we are trying our best and looking at the situation all over. Whenever the opportunity will come and the situation will be conducive to start your campus coming, we are looking forward to that date. So after coming to the hostel, definitely you need food. So let me tell you a little brief about our mess system. Our mess system is called as student monitored canteen. That means it is actually run and governed by the students. So we do have canteen staffs and they require salary. For that, a part will be added in your semester fees as mess charges. But regarding the food charges, you are going to recharge your card through a computerized system. You pay 500 rupees, your card is charged, and then you go to the mess, order your food, pay the money through the card. We have card swiping system for that. So that means actually from menu fixing to the pricing, everything is done by the students only. So slowly when you are coming to the system, you will be included in that management system as well. That will be really interesting for you, that you are taking care of 1500 students fooding. We do have a thing called Student Affairs Council. That is the most important body of the student, who are going to be responsible for monitoring everything, starting from sports and games, the hostel, the mess, food and hygiene, cultural things, as well as the academics. Now this Student Affairs Council, separately they are going to meet you and they are going to tell you about their own details. But briefly, I must say that the SAC academics, if you consider one part of the SAC, it will have 3 GS position, General Secretary position, from each category of our existing academic rule, one from PhD, one from integrated PhD, and one from BSMS. And these GSS are going to be elected by the student community. At the very initial stage, unfortunately, you are not going to have the right to elect them, as you are coming to the system new. First, you are going to get accustomed to the system. You know people that who can work for you, and then only you will have the voting right for the SAC election. But that doesn't mean that you cannot interact with the SAC people and you cannot ask your own problem to them. So any kind of academic issues, you can bring it to the knowledge of the SAC GS academic. Likewise, SAC GS cultural, he or she is going to take care about all the cultural activities. You can plan for different cultural activities. Just if you think about the COVID situation, that is why we are suffering a lot. However, otherwise, 365 days, we do have lots of cultural activities inside the campus, and we do participate in some of the pan-IICR cultural programs as well, which is called the Inter-IICR Cultural Meet. It happens in each of the IICR once at a time. So if this year Calcutta is doing that, next year Pune will do that, and all IICR, NICER, and IIC is going to participate. We do have Science Plus Culture program called Incubesta. This is a unique program, is actually initiated by IICR Kolkata, where students from other IICRs, various other institutes like IITs and things like that, they also do participate. And there is an agglomeration of scientific talks, scientific discussion, small workshop, as well as cultural program, everything blended together for 3 consecutive days. Unfortunately, we couldn't do it last year because of the COVID situation, but we are hopeful that in coming days we'll start again. Then we have loads of clubs. Under the sports, under the culture, we do have different clubs like nature club, quiz club, badminton club, carom club, and these clubs are maintained by office bearers. They are also getting elected by the students, and then those OBs, they are taking care of small parts of the activity where your interest is. You can talk to them and you can get the facility, and you can think of the betterment of the facility. You can apply for little bit of money to improve the facility. So the system is something like that, where you are going to be involved equally, and then you are going to get your all entertainment sources. So with that, I'm just concluding here. A very warm welcome, and we are looking forward to see you in the campus whenever the situation improves. Thank you.
Will Malancho tell something? Probably not, right?
I don't see Malancho.
Okay.
I might just add a small thing, Professor Mukhopadhyay.
Sure.
Yes.
Yeah, so we have a wonderful Eiser Kolkata magazines, 2 of them.
Yeah.
And I invite everyone to be, sending your entries, your write-ups, if you are good in writing poems or scientific article, non-scientific article, fictions, non-fictions, everything, whatever your interests are. We have 2 wonderful magazines. And if you are an artist, draw cartoons, anything, you're most welcome to submit your entries to these magazines and have some sort of publication. So maybe I'll send you the links through the YouTube Meet. You can browse through it.
Yes.
Thank you. Now I will request our DBS head, Professor Rupak Datta, to tell something. Rupak, are you here? Hello, Professor Datta? No, I don't see DBS head over here in the list. In that case, I will request, no, DCS head is also not here. May I request DMS head, Professor Somnath Basu, to tell something to the students?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear.
All right. Yeah. So a warm welcome and good morning to everyone, all the students. I might have interacted with 1 or 2 during some presentation earlier. So it might be a while before we get to meet you in person. But until then, as has been told by various people already, that it's a warm and inviting place. There are many activities going on, and once you come on campus, I'm sure you'll love it as well. Stay focused, try to make the most of this experience, and try to be engaging and open regarding any discipline of your choice. I mean, you might not like certain things based on prior ideas, but when you come here, keep your ideas open. You'll never know what you end up liking, what subjects, because they're definitely taught in an engaging way. So welcome to ISA Kolkata. Thank you.
Now I request our Department of Earth Science head, Professor Sukanto De. Professor Sukanto De, please tell something to your students, please. Sukanto, I can see your name over here, but you are muted. Hello, Sukanto, can you hear us? Hear me? Oh, it looks like there is some problem, although we can see his name over here. In that case, okay, I would like, if DCS, DBS,
DPS about overall the institute.
Oh, you are. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah. My internet. Can you hear me?
Yeah. We can hear.
Yeah. So we have heard about the overall institute rules and regulations and the environment. So I'll be just presenting very shortly about the Department of Earth Sciences, because most of the students are not probably exposed to the Department of Earth Sciences. So I'm just sharing my screen. So is my screen visible?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, thank you. So the Department of Art Sciences of ISAR Kolkata is the first ISAR to start. Yeah, this is the first art sciences department within the ISAR system, and it started its journey in 2007. And these are some of the characteristic features of our department. So one of the main characteristics is that this is highly interdisciplinary. Yeah. So that for the students, you can see this is a combination of all branches of science. You can see that there are applications of mathematics, physics, chemistry, statistics, biology, even computer science, artificial intelligence. So it's a highly interdisciplinary subject, and you'll understand the importance of this subject that the government of India has a separate Ministry of Art Sciences. So, and also you'll find that the nature is our lab. So in our course curriculum, we have integration of the theory, the lab courses, and one of the main features of our course is the field work. We take our students to some of the exotic locations, and also many of our faculty members are engaged in contributing to the some of the fields are contributing to the social causes. So, so these are some of the major disciplines subdisciplines within the art sciences. One is the solid art studies, and another one is the art surface processes studies, and of course the environment and climate studies. And you can see there are several subdisciplines where our students get training, they can do research, they can take up their future career. So these are some of the sub-disciplines, and we have a very good research, teaching and research infrastructures. You can see that there are so many laboratories, operational laboratories, where the students can get hands-on experience. Uh, and these are some of the photographs of our laboratories. These are, of course, some of the many laboratories. You can see you can analyze your samples for their elemental composition, for their isotopic composition. You can analyze their sizes. And of course, there are very good microscope lab here. You can see that this is a teaching lab where individual students ca- uh, uh, get trained. Individual microscopes are allotted to single students. And regarding, I repeat that the uniqueness of our art science curriculum, that it's a highly interdisciplinary, and there are a lot of stress on practical courses and the field work in many places. We take our students for field work. This is one of them. For example, so many of our faculty members are interested in Himalayan tectonics, its role in climate, and earthquake studies, etc., etc. So we also take our students. This is a past field work for our BSMS students in Shivalik, Himalaya. And regarding the student placements, I can tell you that there are various way you can diversify. There are different ways. One is that of course that is that this most preferred one is the academic career. Most of our students they opt for PhD in national and international institute, and that will be followed by, of course, the aim for faculty or scientist positions. Or you can directly apply for scientist position in various national research institutes like Ministry of Earth Sciences, ISRO, Department of Atomic Energy, CSIR, etc., etc. And there are other government organizations also where you can apply. These are competitive exams where you can apply, for example, NGC, Geological Survey of India, Coal India, and disaster management, environmental research institutes, etc., etc. And lastly, in the last year, the last 1 year, I show some of the. This is not an exclusive list. So these are some of the institutes where our students are placed for PhD. So you can see that these our students are of high demand world over. So thank you so much. That's all from the Department of Art Sciences. I extend a very welcome to the ISAR system. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Professor De. Now I request Head of the Department of Chemistry, Professor Malla Reddy, who I can see is present over here, to tell something to the students. Malla, please.
Just a second.
Yeah.
Yeah, can you see my slides?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, hello everyone, and I welcome all the students, to ISER Kolkata. And so I'm going to, my name is Malla Reddy. I'm a professor in chemistry department and the head of the department in chemistry. And so chemistry is one of the biggest departments at ISER Kolkata, and we have about 36 faculty members. And we have basically world-class research labs here. And we also get good number of BSMS students in our labs working in their 5th year, and then they publish from their work. And so this is, in terms of research, this is one of the in the country, you can say that chemistry department is among the top departments in the country. And so Professor Saurabh Paul, director, is also faculty in our department, is a professor in our department. And so he's a theoretician, as you all know, theoretical chemist. And so if you look at chemistry department, and from the research point of view, so when you come to the 5th year, for example, or maybe when you are in when you take your majors into chemistry, so you will be basically interested in doing projects in the chemistry labs when you have free time, and definitely in the 5th year. So I will just give you some kind of a brief overview of different fields that we have in chemistry. So mostly we have interdisciplinary research groups working on soft matter and materials design. As you all know, materials are very, very important these days for various applications. We have inorganic chemistry and catalysis. This is another field where you have a lot of industrial application. And then carbon dioxide capture and volarization. So this is also very hot field in terms of the environment and then energy. And spectroscopy and theoretical chemistry. And this is very important technique for characterization of various materials. So we have good number of people working in the soft matter and materials. You can see Professor Amitav Das and many young faculty here. Professor Amitav Das is DORD, Dean of Research. And so you can see here, if you know, these are publications from the department. As you can see, these are all top publications in chemistry, like Science, and then Angewandte, and Nature Communication, Advanced Functional Materials. So we are a very active department in terms of the research, and you can find that we have best labs in the department. And so we have again inorganic chemistry and catalysis. This is another very important area where we have a good number of people working on it. And as you can see, people work on different aspects, from catalysis to materials of which are important for various applications. And then these are some publications I thought of showing. And then we also have Professor Rahul Banerjee, Swadhin Mandal, and Professor Somajit Roy working on carbon dioxide capture and volarization. As you may know, Professor Rahul Banerjee and Swadhin Mandal were awarded the Bhatnagar Award recently for their excellent contributions to chemistry. And so then there are many areas where this polymer chemistry is again very, very important. And we have two groups working on different aspects of polymer chemistry, Professor Rajesh Shanmugam and Priyadarshi Dey. They also work extensively with the industries, and a large number of BSMS students and IPHD students actually go to these labs for their research projects. As you can see, just a representative example here, Professor Rajesh Shanmugam works on drug delivery and other aspects. And then we have spectroscopy and theoretical chemistry. And so here again, we work on various materials. And so what I would like to say is that, again, just this is a representative slide. So publications, especially research output from our department is, par or at least better than many other good departments in the country. For example, IACS, IIT Bombay, JNCSR, these are very well-known departments in chemistry, right? So these are top departments. And if you see this is for this year, but these numbers, sometimes one goes little up and down, but this is little old data. So, but what is important here is that our department, chemistry department, is among one of the top departments in the country. So then as I said, it is a large department. You can see some of our students. This was taken a couple of years ago. And then we have a very good supporting staff. And then we have very good research labs. As you can see, we have state-of-the-art chemistry labs, like with a lot of hoods and all kinds of equipments. And we also have large central facilities attached to the department. And some of our BSMS and IPHD students basically operate these instruments. So we also allow the students to get trained on these instruments. And sometimes they also work on industrial projects and many other stuff. For example, you see here this FESM, and we have MALDI and many other analytical techniques. So our students also and faculty also are very much interested in the arts. As you can see here, some pictures from some of our colleagues. And with this, I welcome all of you. And if you have any questions, so I'll be able to answer that. You can contact me or you can write me directly if you have something to basically if you need some more information. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Reddy. Now I request the head of the Department of Physical Sciences, Professor Ayan Banerjee, to say a few words.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So yeah, I welcome all of you, all you new students, and so I will share a few things, of course, about DPS. And see, you guys of today, you are completely aware of who is doing what. I'm sure you've done your homework much better than what I can probably tell you at this point of time. But I will still sort of take you to a little, through a little journey of what this Department of Physical Sciences is about. But I will do it in a slightly sort of less formal manner, in the sense that I will present to you a sort of a flyer that we had actually prepared on the behalf of DPS in 2019, when this department actually turned 10 years. And we actually made a very sort of a kind of a popular, document, which would be sort of clear to most people who were not even, directly interested in physics. Interested means who were not, specialists in physics, if I say so. That is what I'm going to sort of take you through. And before I do that, let me just share my screen. 1 minute. Yeah, so can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. 1 second. Just let me make this.
I can make it a bit bigger.
Yeah, exactly. Just make it. Yeah. Right. Is this somewhat bigger?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, fine.
Right.
It is becoming bigger.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Right. So this was done actually sometime back, in the sense with 2019. So this is slightly different now. So we actually have 31 faculty here. And I think these numbers are not very important. Anyway, we have a lot of BSMS students, of course. Third year. There was a time when getting into DPS was some kind of, something which was not really it was a bit of competition for students, in the sense that we have 31 faculty members, and we typically took about 62 students per batch in the sense of the third year, when you took your specializations. But of course, typically if you get a good CGPA and you are sort of interested in physics, then we are typically open for you. Of course, that's not an issue. But what is important is we have several centers also associated with us. The most important is the Center of Excellence in Space Sciences, CESI, which is directly involved in what is known as the LIGO project. You must have heard of that. It's a very, very well known, world famous thing where they actually first detected black holes. Pictures of black holes were taken, and where they actually detected also the existence of gravitational waves, which actually got the Nobel Prize. Uh, so so these are what I'm just going to talk about briefly. Sun science is what we do at SESI. Gravitational waves detection, quantum gravity. Again, these are things that you read about in science fiction, I'm sure. When we were young, of course, a lot of students wanted to be physicists just because physics was a subject which was very close to their fantasy. And these are all the stuff that are actually made up of fantasy, that make up one's fantasy elements: dark energy, black holes. All these are things that we do at DPS. This is something very important. Weak is powerful. This is actually something called weak measurements, where we actually we have a very, very tiny sort of a phenomena, but there is a technique where we can actually amplify that phenomena by some very, very clever experimental tricks. Nano science, this is again something which is fantasy stuff. The world, it's getting miniaturized every moment. We actually can make up uh, a whole universe in the nano now. And all you see, everything is getting smaller and smaller. Nano is something which we are doing. We have femtosecond lasers with which we can actually do nano science. Chaos and complexity, again, this is something very, very interesting, which we actually use. We can visualize viewer chaos. We can actually work uh, on complex systems. There are people who are working on that. I'm not really telling you too many names, because once you get into our system, you'll be familiar with them anyway. You can look at our website; you'll get everything. Condensed matter, of course. We have two pretty large groups: one in theory, one in experiments. We do work in sort of extreme conditions, with at low temperatures, high magnetic fields, high pressure, all kinds of very, very interesting things. Molecular physics, yes, where we actually do. We have a single faculty, of course, there, Professor. Anyway, I'm not taking names here. So molecular physics, where we actually look at low energy molecular collision dynamics. With quantum magnetism, the name itself sounds so exotic, I'm sure. So this is what we are actually doing, where magnetism, you'd have taken big bar magnets, north pole, south pole, but what happens when they become quantum, of quantum nature, very, very small? Then emergent states of matter, again, this is a part of condensed matter, where we look at, again, I think these things are probably not something which are very obvious to you at this point of time, but yes, this is something that some of our theorists indulge in. Then solid state physics, again, this is something where we do a lot of collaboration from people outside, with with labs outside the country even, where we look at, again, structure of solids. Then biophysics, evolutionary dynamics, quantum dynamics. You can look at how very, very diverse our stuff is. High energy physics, again, this is something which has a lot of following in our BSMS students. Many, we had a joke in the department that if you're Bengali and you had done, you wanted to be a physicist, then the things that you wanted to do are astrophysics or high energy physics. And yes, do not worry, we have people who are doing high energy physics. So yeah, then again, we have our people doing a lot of. Oh, by the way, I forgot probably to describe something that I myself. What we are doing. 1 minute. Let me just get to this. Yeah, light and matter. This is something very, very interesting, where we actually can manipulate matter using light. So where we actually, we can trap little small objects using focused light beams. We call this optical tweezers. We have a big lab in this. Now, as just to conclude, I will probably show you a little bit of stuff about ourselves, where we faculty have won a lot of awards. That is not a big deal, but what we believe in very strongly is that most of our BSMS project students for the 5th year projects, they actually get good papers. And I can tell you, my lab was set up by BSMS students, and
Professor
yes,
Banerjee.
most of them. Yeah, okay, I'm
Okay.
just concluding, actually, Professor Nando. Yeah, so we believe in, our teaching is supposed to be one of the best in the country. You can actually find out from your friends. And we strongly believe that a beautiful admixture of research and teaching is what drives students. And I guess I don't think we have too much else to say. Yeah, and we are basically relatively young, of course, in the national perspective, but our regime of research domain extends from stars to atoms. So that whole thing, gravitation cosmology to nanophysics. So the entire gamut is under the domain of research of DPS. And any questions, you're free to email me, or I'm there. I'm presently on leave, but I'm still there. I'm joining next week. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Banerjee. Now we have with us Professor Joshi Das Sharma, who is presently the officiating head of the Department of Biological Sciences. I will request Professor Das Sharma to say a few words.
Good morning to one and all, and very warm welcome to all the BSMS students to ISER Kolkata, and my sincere thanks to all the dignitaries of ISER Kolkata for giving me a chance. I'm talking on behalf of the head of the department, Professor Rupak Datta. So, Department of Biological Sciences, it started from its inception, and now we have more than 24 faculties, and our research is spanning from starting from the ecology, behavioral biology to that, the genomics, and then also we do the work in cancer biology, immunology, neurobiology, physiology, cell biology, biophysics, and structural biology. So there is a wide range of faculties that they are doing research, but while research is our one of the component, our major focus is also teaching the undergrad students, because the vision of our department as well as the ISER Kolkata is to train students so they can be the future generation scientists. So we want to nurture their talent from their beginning. So that's what our teaching courses are catered from, starting from very basic introduction to biology, where we introduce the biology. I know lots of people have biology in their 12th standard, but some of you may not have biology, but that doesn't matter, because we start from the very basics to clarify why we study biology. And then we go slowly to understanding that what is our hereditary material, genomic constituents, and how it carries the information. And then we go from the second year, we do biochemistry, which is also fundamental process of all biological processes. And then from there, we go to third year, there are specialization, and then you will be majoring the biology, or some people who are majoring the chemistry or physics or maths can take the minor subject. And that time you can allow, you will be taking the courses from ecology, behavioral biology, immunology, cell biology, biochemistry, advanced biochemistry, physiology, then the cognition, neurobiology, and so on and so on. And then we also have a very specialized course for 5th years. There you will learn about the ethics, as well as you will learn about how to present paper. So this way we try to cover so that you can prepare yourself for the next step, which is the higher studies in doing PhD or whatever line you chose for your career. But one more important thing is in biology is the practical courses. So we give hands-on training, but due to COVID last 1.5 years, we couldn't able to afford that. But generally, we have practical courses also where you will learn the basics and how to handle specimens, how to design the experiments, how to do cloning, how to do developmental biology from chick embryos. So these all encompasses entire the 4 years practical courses, and 5th year is dedicated for the project as for our, like other departments. And in the project, generally what I noticed as one of the senior member of this department, that students who are interested, they start to come at the 3rd year and they just get acquainted with the techniques, acquainted with the hypothesis of that lab, and then slowly in 5th year they have their project. And I'm very happy to say some of the 5th year project students, they published first author paper in very prestigious peer-reviewed journals, which helped them to go to their PhD and choose their career. And we have our alumni all over the world, like from Asian countries, Japan, Singapore, then also in Canada, in US, several places, as well as in UK, Germany. So we have like our alumni are presenting IISER Kolkata in almost all over the world, and they receive several prestigious award and Khorana program. They they apply and they go also for short term for doing that, and also several other fellowships they receive. And also in India, when they are here within us, they present their work in international and national conferences, and they receive several awards. So that is very noteworthy that from the very early career, they get their chances to share their work and also to showcase their work and showcase IISER Kolkata's Department of Biological Science work in the national and international forum. With that, I will be happy if you have any question, you can feel free to ask me. If you have anything to say, I will be happy to say so. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Basharma. I would now request our UGSC convener, Undergraduate Academic Committee convener, Professor Rangit Bhattacharya, to brief our WeLearn system, examination system, and overall, whatever you feel to be reported to the students. Professor Bhattacharya, please.
Thank you, Professor Nandu. First of all, to all our students, IPHD RS students, research students, and of course 21 MS, BSMS students, a very warm welcome to all of you to IISER Kolkata. And this presentation, I'm going to show you and talk about how you are going to use your course management system. Now, you know, for IPHD students and for the BSMS students, this semester, the coming semester is going to be online. So you need to know a bit about how to use your course material online, how to take part in the examination, etc. So that for research students also, you will have your coursework starting next semester. So for that too, our course management portal would be very essential for all of you. So, I mean, I would like to now share my screen and would like to show you how you enter the course portal. All right, my screen should be visible to all of you now. And of course, I mean, this is just a Google search engine marked with 31st December's doodle. What we call our course management system is WeLearn. So you learn, we teach, we also learn from you. So, I mean, it's WeLearn, we gave it a name. And if you search for WeLearn IISER Kolkata, the first hit is our course management portal. So you click there, and this is where you are in. I was logged in a few minutes before, so it says that my session has timed out, so I need to log in again. So this is how WeLearn looks like. the academic portal where you get most of your stuff. The front page that you see, I mean, it's basically some broken fragments of either Kolkata logo and a very small notice board where you get your teaching plan. If you click on the teaching plan, it shows a list of semesters. And if you click on a particular year and semester combination, and you know we have two, the autumn and spring. The autumn starts now for the BSMS students because the admission got late due to COVID situation. And you have 10 courses. You have chemistry theory course and the lab, the physics theory and lab, you have mathematics, and you also have a computer course, you have art science, you have biology and biology laboratory, and also humanities courses. These you are already familiar with. If you go back to the notice board, you also see the timetable of spring 2022. Now, a bit of nomenclature here. For BSMS students, this is actually the autumn 2021, although it starts now in spring 2022. So don't get confused. Let's say this is timetable for upcoming semester. So wherever you are, for you, you will find the timetable there. You click there and the PDF opens, and that will show you it has a series of course code, and you can find your course code from the teaching plan which I showed earlier. So from those course code you can locate here, and you can find out when your class, which class you have at what time. Right. Then you can ignore the last one, the course group. We will come back to this much later. Now, let us try to log in to the system. We are in. This is after you log into WeLearn, this is how it looks like. So you have a panel on the left, you have a panel on the right, you have a top panel, and you have the main body. The left panel, most importantly, it has a dashboard link. You click there, the front page opens, of course. Then your courses are listed here. So if you are a BSMS student, you will have 10 courses listed. If you are a research student, there won't be any courses yet because you have not chosen your courses yet. You will have to choose your courses. And for BSMS students, your courses, we know which courses you are going to take. You do not have the freedom of choosing courses yet. So your courses are prefixed, and for each of them, you are going to see a course card, which has by default a nighttime image of our lecture hall complex, which we, of course, you can't see it now, you will see it later when you come to the campus. On the right-hand side, you get a notification panel. So for example, I am a teacher in this demo course, and this is a student account where the student can see the examination is closing, and it's an opinion poll that when do we have our next class test. So all this notification comes to the right-hand panel. On the top panel, you also have a notification icon, which kind of glows and gives you a blinking effect. And you have a message panel. You can send message and receive message from your instructor or among yourselves. And you also have a profile page. I will come to your profile page and gradebook later. First, let us go into a demo course. A course page, this is how it looks like. At the top, we have what we call a general section. Then the course page is actually arranged sequentially in terms of weeks or topics. The teacher can modify the look and look of the course. Say, for example, in this course, I am a teacher, so I have put the class meeting link. You click on there, it opens a Google Meet link where, that's your class link, and it would be used during the class when the teacher tells you the class is, according to timetable. The teacher can add some labels. This text is for teachers, so they can add equation, they can write some material, they can mention the grading scheme. As Professor Nando told you before, internal assessment has 30%. and the teacher can decide that he can give 10% to clusters, 10% to other assignments, 10% to projects. Midsem has 20%, endsem has 50%. So this grading scheme could be a part of the level that you get to see here. And also the teacher can add links. He can share class material. So for example, this is the class material where we are trying to solve a problem where a hoop is rolling on a sphere. So, I mean, such materials teacher can share with you. And then, of course, the big thing, teacher will give assignments and you click on the assignment and this is how it looks like. It looks like that you have not attempted yet, teacher has not graded yet, but you can add your submission. The assignment, typically it shows the due date by which time you must submit. It shows the time remaining, last modified when. For adding a submission, the teacher can configure what do you submit. Do you submit a single PDF or maybe a zip file, an archive? In most cases, us, the teacher, we demand you, the student, you submit a single PDF file, which means in many of the assignments, you will have to write it up or you can type it up. Either way, either you can take pictures using your scanner and make a single PDF, or you can create a PDF by typing. And then you click on add submission, add the file, and then save changes. Your PDF's uploaded and you'll be able to see it here that you have uploaded the PDF. So this is how you submit your assignment. And after you submit, the teacher will grade the assignment and you will have an annotated copy of your assignment if the teacher is providing one annotated copy of your PDF file along with the marks that you have obtained. Then teacher can share also the link to some pre-recorded lectures. Say for example, here I have some lecture on virtual work. It's on YouTube. So those can also be shared through WeLearn. And then you have the opinion poll. I mean, teachers can take opinion poll, like when do we have next class test, and they will let you know, and you have to select between, let's say, 3 dates. Oh, so you just have gave your choices here. So opinion poll and assignments are easy. For assignment, you click there, see the assignment, the PDF file is available. You look at what the teacher asks of you and just simply submit. An opinion poll is, you are familiar with that. The most important part that you will be using probably a lot of time is how do you give exam, the quizzes. So here I am as a student and I see that I have not attempted the quiz. It is open. It started on 28th December and it is open till 2nd January. So I attempt the quiz now. So what we see is once you click on quiz, is the body of the page shows you various choices. This is a multiple choice question. And on the right hand side, you have the navigation where you see the question numbers. You are familiar with many of the online exam systems. And for BSMS students, you just went through our state board exam, most of you. So you are familiar with this setup. Yet, the multiple choice type of question in either Kolkata are of principally two types. One, like this one, where you can have multiple correct answers. How do I understand that? I mean, typically it shows up with a square box and you can select more than one. So, I mean, like suppose I select two answers, which of the following satisfy the equation x plus y equal to 2, and then I go to the next page, and then here these icons are rounded. It is typically one choice, a single choice. And teacher can also decide for the multiple choice, multiple answer questions, whether there are negative marking or not. So that you will have to be careful and you check with your teacher whether there are negative marking and you plan your strategy accordingly. There could be matching type of question where you have to match the columns and you can choose here we are choosing the types of number, and then you can have numerical answer. The numerical answer, you have to provide something. I mean, typically for numerical answer, there is a tolerance. The teacher will specify what the tolerance is. So for example, here we are adding 6.1 and 2.3. And then if you add your answer, teacher can demand that it has to be correct within first decimal of your answer. So meaning the correct answer is 8.4 in this case. And these numbers are typically random for each student. So, I mean, it changes. Every student, they get different numbers. Now, if I write 8.6, then that would be wrong because it is outside the tolerance range. If the tolerance range is 0.1, then for 8.4, I can write 8.3 or 8.5. Both would be counted as correct along with 8.4. Anything beyond that, above or below, will be incorrect. So for numerical answers, you check with your teacher that what are the tolerance. It should be specified in the question, but like here it is not. Sometimes it may not be there. In that case, it's good to find out from the teacher. And then similarly, you can have numerical answer where you have product or sum. Both are possible. In both the cases, you need to do what I just mentioned. So here I didn't select anything. And then after you are done with the quiz, the default configuration is, even if you do not do anything, meaning you do not say, I finish the attempt and then I submit all and finish, even if you do not click it, but the time expires. Suppose the quiz is from, let's say, 11 to 11:30. Then at 11:30, it automatically gets submitted. But remember, the teacher can configure that submit button will have to be pressed, meaning this button will have to be pressed, otherwise nothing gets submitted. So that too, you need to check with the teacher. In most cases, the teacher configures it to be auto submission, meaning suppose you are working on it and then you don't submit, but time expires, it automatically gets submitted, whatever you have done. So I submit it. So it is basically after submission, it shows me a review and I click on finish review, I'm done. Now you see this button, re-attempt quiz. It is particularly important. Suppose while taking the quiz, you get disconnected from network. And then when you come back, you will see your previous attempt already been submitted. In that case, you can re-attempt the quiz. If you do that, then it will start from where exactly you have left. So I selected this too, and it is already pre-selected. And then this one, I did not select the question 5, so it remains empty. And there I can, add something. And review it. So I have submitted 2, and teacher takes in most cases the last one. So this is how you take the quiz. And assignments, quizzes, and opinion poll, these are the most important modules that you would be using. Of course, you will get access to your course material from the links in the WeLearn page. And another important thing is the discussion forum. The teacher might have created, this is particularly important for the first year students and also for research students. Some of the teachers, they create the topics in the discussion forum. Say, for example, I created 2 topics, D'Alembert's principle and Euler-Lagrange equations. And students, if you have a question on Euler-Lagrange equation, you simply go there and ask your question. And the discussion forum could be topical. And this is very important that you take part in the discussion forum instead of email, simply because the arrangement is very, very useful. So these are the most of the modules that you would be using in WeLearn. There are only another small aspect which must be told is how do you access your grade cards and how do you select your course? For selection of the course is absolutely crucial to our research students. You will go to WeLearn and you will click on the right-hand side top icon, select your profile. I click on the details. Here you see certain details. One of them is class routine. You can ignore that because during the online time, we are not managing the class routine here. This is the most important part, course selection for current and next semester. So every semester at the beginning for about 7 to 10 days, we keep our course choices open when you can select which course you would like to take. This again does not apply to BSMS first year student. This applies to the research student, and you select your courses here. You can also get your grade cards there, and most important, importantly, we also have a mobile app. We have a mobile app for WeLearn, and it is called, you see, the WeLearn software is based on open source software called Moodle. Moodle has an app. If you are wondering, how does it spells? Moodle, this is how it spells, MWDLE, okay? So Moodle has an app. You can install Moodle app, and you can use the Moodle app for navigating your courses, either Kolkata. We have the mobile app enabled, but it does not give you many functionality. This is just to keep track. You can get certain course material, but many activities are not possible. So you have to use a browser, a proper browser like this. So it is recommended, even if you are using mobile, do not use the app, use a browser. Now, with that, more or less I am done, and I have shown you what you can do using WeLearn. Remember, WeLearn, and one more thing, finally, if the teacher enables for you to see the grade, then on the left panel, you have the grade item. Click there, and that will show you how much you have got in the course as a whole or in the assignment. The quiz, which I'm a student here, so I took part in the quiz, but the teacher has not released the marks yet. So I can't see the quiz here, but once he has done that, the quiz will show up and I will be able to see what I have done and how well, how much marks I got. And this will, so this with the grades and all, this completes all the points that I would like to, I wanted to show you. And now if you have some pressing questions, and I would be happy to answer, but it has to be very, very limited because time is short. In our Gmeet, I already see two of the students, Hannah and Ashmeet. Welcome. And you probably use the link as visible in the YouTube. So in any case, you can ask the question, and I think YouTube chat box, you have many questions there. And I think some of you were wondering and asking before that we can't open intranet. Intranet is, at the moment, is you can open only from inside the campus. So you have to be part of the campus LAN. For that, you can use VPN access. The VPN access is given to research students. And for BSMS first year students, we are still making the arrangement. I think our computer section presentation, they will tell you more about all other aspects. All right, so with that, I stop. I will be available here, and if there are questions, then I can try to answer quickly. But I think Professor Nando, next speaker, can take over.
Thank you, Professor Bhattacharya, for giving one very good presentation and useful presentation to the students. Now I request our librarian, Dr. Vijay Raghav Tiwari, to brief about the library to the students.
Yeah, good morning, students. Can you hear me? So I would like to have a brief presentations. Let's see. I'm sharing my slides with you. Can you see my screens? I think it just must be visible now.
Yes, yes.
The library orientation program that we call for. What is your library is all about? You might have been coming from a kind of schools and all. So the library over here is it's a very contentful library, and it gives so many facilities to you. I agree that kind of a time that we people are having, it might be not be so physically available to you, but I can share you. There are so many things that we still do on online also. So as a content, I shall say, when you are in the campus, you will be able to scan our material throughout the campus, even sitting from your hostel or from anywhere. So that is the kind of facility you will get into. But then, and the initiation, I shall say, what exactly? It will be a collaborator for your learning, teaching, research activities, whatever you need from us. We do have sufficient material for all subjects that we have, that you can start doing it. Little bit of a jinx of it that I'm giving it to you. We are looking for very less printed documents over here. We do have around, say, around 20,000 books inside, print books, ebooks roughly around print, say 25,000. But our major concern is our major, say, holdings are there is online journals. We have roughly around 3,000 journals which are there online available to all students on multiple system format. You can have it. The full text databases, we have roughly around 4. Bibliographic databases, we have 12. Online repository records, we have around 1,000, more than 1,000. We have now recently incorporated the press reader, which has around, say, 3,000 national and international newspapers and magazines. You can work for those, you can read those from all throughout the campus, and with all kind of facilities. If you log into that particular, you can search it, you can store it, and you can once again at the leisure point you can read in detail. So this is a very good tool that you can have it. We do have some audiovisual records also. Library hours, I shall say, right now we are not opening for the physical opening session. We are just allowing only circulation hours, that too from 9 to 5:30 only. We will be doing it as and when the say our physical library opens. We will be doing it around the clock. But your circulation section will remain from 9 to 5. Rest of the time, the students can come inside and then can read whole the night if they feel like doing, right? So this is what the conditions, because presently the condition is such, we are not allowing students to come in a bulk. We are just allowing 5 students at a time. They can browse the books and go back and issue and return to those bags. So these are the kind of the thing that at present we are having. We are hoping very soon that the things will improve. So what kind of services we provide? The circulation services I told you recently, reference and information. If you need kind of an assistant that you want to see a particular document or so, all our library staff will be at your service. Whatever way you feel like that, writing support, we do have a Grammarly kind of a software. If we do, originality checking, we do have a Turnitin software. If a document delivery services, suppose you are sitting at home and you're feeling that some kind of a document is needed, certainly you can put a request on mail and you will be getting it into that. We do have printing, I shall say not printing, I shall say photocopying services are there, scanning services. If you need some particular chapter, 10 or 5 pages, it can be scanned and given it to you in the e-format. So membership, I shall speak about right now. All students are members. Whatever is your identity card, that will work as a library card also. So you can very well use it as and when as a library card also. It is a multi-purpose card. What is circulation privileges we have? We have around 5 books for a month. And faculty members, you are not concerned, faculty members are known about it, all that. So I shall read about only for students. This is only 5 books for a month. And you can very well exchange in between. What is library catalog? You can just look on the link which is there over here. This is the link that you can use it for icercall.ac, but it is working inside the lab, inside the campus only. You can check with the availability of the books, whether the book is issued to someone or not. I mean, is issued to one, how many copies we have. All informations are available in this particular schedule. And you will know, even you can check your own things that You can check your own things, that how many books you have or how many books you have supposed to return. This is how our library catalog looks like. So you can check with it, and when we will be inside, it is available, it is accessible, I shall say, through internet. That means on the campus wide access is there. This is how our library catalog page looks like. You can search any book. It might be carrying a picture of the book also, if you feel like, for reference purposes, that this is the book you're looking for. It has got all approaches, library, say author, title, or subject, or whatever way. When we talk about location of the services, when you look for a book, which particular thing you must look for in a physical book selection, I shall say, these are the book numbers, and these are the ones which are, say, these numerical numbers are there, that will tell you what exactly the book is all about. These are the important things. You should note it down, and you can take the help of our library staff to locate the book on the shelves. So, and as and when the things will be there, you're using it for a month, say a week or two, you will always be expert in that. So that's not big deal on that. We do subscribe only online resources in journals. Wherever the online resources are not available, then we only go for print also. We do have physical access. At present, it is not permissible because of the COVID conditions, and we do take care of the students who are coming from outside. They should not get in a clutter. They should not keep a crowd. But still, you are allowed to be inside the library, but then only for circulation purposes, not for reading purposes. Yeah, if at all you want to access from outside campus, there is a possibility of that VPN access. VPN access can be given. There is a link which gives the detail of all that. This is the link which is there. You can have a look on that. This is the link that you can have all the information about how we will get VPN access. But yes, presently the VPN access is not accessible to the new students, but we are looking for the facilities if it can be extended to the newcomers also. Now, this is our library web page. It gives all details of our own staff and what is exactly we are all about and what we contain. So when we go for online resources, it's all listed alphabetically. You can have a look on that how it looks for. Online resources are there. You can have bibliographical databases I was talking about. The abstracts are there, chemical hazardiness. See, these are the mass SciNet, National Product Update, SciFinder, Synfax, and Web of Science. If you want to check it with Web of Science and all, that is also available over there. So now, full text database, we will incorporate ACM Digital Library, we have IEEE databases, we have Geoscience World, we have, and JSTOR also is there. Now, journal archive, we do have some of the journals online, which we have a full archive from volume 1 to till date. Like the Science magazine, we do have the full database with us, and whichever issue you want to put it, you can search it on. Like ACS Legacy Services, AGO Archives, AIP Archive, we all come to know what actually is all about. Prola is there, Cambridge University Press, IUP Archives, and Nature Group. All Nature archives we do have right from volume 1 to till date. It's a big achievement for any kind of library, because I should say that you are going to use a very rich library over here. Now, say for mathematics, DMJ database we have, Subornic is there, CM Locus is there. Now, some of the ebooks also we are having. We do not have much of the ebooks, but we do have some of that, like for Springer Mathematics collections, we do have a particular, there are the numbers which are given over here, methods of cell biology and enzymatology. We do have a series which is coming from 1995 and 2005 onwards. We do have all collections. We do have a Siam collections also with us. Springer Astronomy, the years are also mentioned over here. We could not maintain, I shall say, updated. We are trying to look into, as the resources allow us, we will try to procure our databases, update for Springer Astronomy, biomedical, chemistry, and earth line. But mathematics and statistics we do have from 2500 to 2020, perfectly complete all issues are. We do have a lecture mathematics series also from 1973 to 2014, and then after it comes into the Springer databases. So we do have a very rich collection of Wiley collections, mathematics and statistics. It's a very huge collection that we have. We do have online e-repository also. E-repository is all meant about that whatever the PhD theses our students have done in the past, they're all, you can be searched upon on the link that is http://prints.icercol.ac.in. But yes, at present, and in today's content, I shall say these are available up to the abstract level only. If you want to see the complete list, say exactly the thesis of it, you have to drop into the library. We can give you the print version, but not for issue. You can use it here only. But yes, very soon we are going to have a full text databases also available. In some other links also, we'll let you know very soon. There is a kind of decision which has been made for you all people, all throughout even you can be searched from outside campus also. So all theses will be available online, hopefully soon. This is our ISR Kolkata repository collection. The website looks like about it. Anybody can search it from internet inside. On our revenue, you can check it from outside also, but only up to abstract level. It's not the complete one. You can check what exactly the PhD thesis is content for. Another thing I just wanted to inform you, there are some rules and regulations. These all particular slides which we are going to have it over here, we are going to place it on our internet library page so that you can check it all in detail, what exactly is all written about. If you have some any doubt, you are most welcome at any number of time. You can check me, you can call me, you can mail me. All things are there, even mobile numbers are there, WhatsApp is there. Whichever way you feel better or other, you can communicate with us. Not only me, but all other library staff also. They will be at your service. So whatever kind of help you need, you will be having it. These are the do's and don'ts of library. There are many regulations are there. This is our library gate looks like at present. I've got some pictures pasted over here. You can have a look on that. There are students, there say properties counters are there. This is our, at present we are not having the complete furniture over in the library, but then sufficient furniture is there for students at present for using. These are our reading areas. There are some few tables and chairs there. Very soon we are going to have some more over there. So this is how it looks like. Our stacks are there. You can have a glimpse of it. These are our print sections. We have very less number of print journals. So they have been over here, but then it will be increasing very soon. So these are our printing services. These are the say some of the desktops are there for students over here. Most of the students are carrying these days laptops. So we have given just points everywhere, almost any point of the corner of the library. So you can have a sit over there and use it. These are our library staff. The scanning services are there. We have a very high-end scanner. You can have a very good resolution scanning over here done for any kind of a book or material or a chapter. The whole book we don't allow because of the copyright conditions, but then we do allow a few chapters at the recommendations of the teachers or faculty.
Dr. Tiwari, please bind up.
Sure, sir. Sure, sir. So these are some few pictures just I wanted to see. I would say wish you all the very happy new year and joining us. We'll see you very soon physically. Thank you very much. Sir,
thank you, Dr.
please.
Tiwari.
Yeah, please.
This is a lot of useful information students have got. I would like to add just simple one thing. I have seen this in your presentation also, but I will add that there is one very nice thing about library, that a misplaced book is lost. So the thing is that whatever Dr. Tiwari has written, that do not try to put the books back into the shelf. Don't do that. Use it, keep it on the library.
Keep it on the library desk.
And you go. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Now we have with us Mr. Arnav Sadhuka from Computer Center. Our system administrator, Mr. Shahid Ali Faruqi, is not available today. So about the computer center, how you can use and different kinds of things about computer center will be briefed by Mr. Arnav Sadhuka from Computer Center. Mr. Arnav, please.
Yes. Good morning, students. I will just first share. Good morning, students, and welcome to our ISAR Kolkata. So on behalf of our system administrator, I would be sharing few of our facilities of central computing at ISAR Kolkata. Now, as you already got your registration slip, so you are all aware of our computer center. So I will briefly give some presentation and then we will proceed. Okay, our computer center is at room number 116 CV Raman building, and we have a dedicated IT help desk system. So whenever you join our institute as a offline mode, you can come to the computer center, and opposite to the computer center is our help desk office related to your whatever problem you face. And in our computer center, we have also a help desk system where you can create any tickets related to IT related problem. You have already been provided with the LDAP account and our Gmail account. All this information you already received in your alternate email ID, and by this time you are already aware of all the information which you need to log in into our system. Now, few things about changing your password. As you know that right now most of the things we have to do using our password. So it is our request and as a general precaution that whenever you change your password, don't give any easy password just like your name or date of birth or something very simple English words. Try to make the password as complex as possible. And also within 2 months or 3 months, try to change your passwords, and don't share the passwords among your friends or anyone if they need to know your password. Okay, you have got two accounts. One is the LDAP account and another is the Gmail account. So in our computer center or in ISAR Kolkata, using the LDAP account, you will be able to use the Wi-Fi, the WLAN. Already you have logged into your WLAN and seen your courses as shown by Dr. Rongit. Now we have your dashboard, ticket system, and computer center. So whenever you come to our institute, to log in into our computer center, you need that LDAP account. And another account which you have been provided is the G Suite account. So the G Suite mail ID is gsuite.isarpol.ac.in, and using your G Suite account, as many of you are aware of, already have your Gmail account. This is another Gmail account, but it will have your ISAR email ID. Now G Suite account can be passed the same way you change your password of your normal Gmail account. So if anybody forgets your Gmail password or G Suite password of ISAR Kolkata, you don't have to contact us. You can change that password of your own. Okay, now we should say something about keeping all the things. And the first thing is that you must not share your password with anyone, which includes your colleagues, roommates, hostel staff, or computer section staff. We from our official end, we do not need to know your password, and we never do that. So if anybody or any official also asks for your password, never disclose that thing to anyone. And if anything happens, you will be responsible for any misuse if it happens from your own account. Now we have an alert 2. Do not click on suspicious links embedded received in your mails. If by mistaken you have clicked, do not type your user ID and password in the page that opens on clicking such links. Do not trap in such phishing mails in which you are asked to reveal your user ID and password. Please don't act even if you receive any such mail from an institute email ID. Computer center or administrator never sends mails for any kind of verification like disk mail quota, database update, web profile update, etc. Administrator don't need your password to access your account. So sometimes we need to see your profile in our system, but for that we generally don't need your password. So don't disclose your username and password to anyone. Now, IISER Kolkata has the state-of-the-art IT infrastructure that are designed to meet the computing and communication needs of the institute. Institute has a fast, reliable, and rugged computer network of more than 1,500 nodes. This network has gigabit fiber backbone connectivity to all the buildings spread in its main campus. So hopefully when the offline classes begins and you have the opportunity to come to our campus, so you would be able to use all the facilities related to the computer center. Till now, till that time, we have this now online facilities, so where everything will be through this online mode. Services, we have different services. You have already started using your Gmail suite, LDAP, internet. For the time being, internet is available for will be available using the virtual private network or VPN access, and which is accessible to the research students. Next is our virtual private network, and the last is website. You already aware of our institute website. And the services are, our institute is fully Wi-Fi enabled campus. We have the online help desk system, online event calendar, my dashboard, online bulletin board. Along with this, we have the Ramanujan cluster. It is under the central facility for high-end computation at IISER Kolkata. Ramanujan cluster facility is to cater high performance computing HPC requirement of our researchers. And along with this cluster, we have our virtual classroom, which we call Ramanujan virtual classroom.
Arnab,
Yes, sir.
your slides are not moving. You are on the first slide and it is not actually moving. So you go to the full mode and then
You share your slideshow. You were sharing your PowerPoint presentation. The window that you were sharing, that must be.
yeah, now it is moving, but you can do a full screen.
So is it moving now?
Yeah, it's moving. It's moving.
Yeah,
No,
it's moving now.
it's moving. That's okay. If you can't do full screen, this is also okay. But previously it was not moving.
Okay. So I will just repeat quickly.
That's okay. That's okay. You can come here.
Okay, so the main thing which I just go again, you should not share the password with anyone, which includes your colleagues, roommates, hostel staff, and CCC staff. And do not click on any suspicious links embedded received in mails. And if you have clicked on any such links, you report to us immediately that you have clicked on that. And do not give your user ID and password in any such pages. And regarding IT infrastructure, the IISER Kolkata has the state-of-art IT infrastructure, and we have around 1,500 nodes, and we have the backbone of the gigabit fiber, which connects all the building. And the services are our G Suite Mail, LDAP, Internet, Virtual Private Network, and our website. And regarding our cluster, we have the Ramanujan cluster, which comes under the central facility for high-end computing facility at IISER Kolkata. And we also have the Ramanujan virtual classroom, where all the virtual class are held in this institute. Okay, so this is a short overview of our computer center. And whenever you face any problem, so you can contact us. And if you come, when the offline classes comes, you can definitely meet to our system administrator, and we are here to help you anytime. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sadhuka. Now I am happy to announce to the students that we have with us our director, Professor Saurabh Pal, who will be giving you some inspiring lecture. And Professor Pal is a very renowned person. I am not telling anything about his research or anything. He is very renowned speaker and very, very, very good teacher. You will see that how you get a lot of things from him, and I am very sure that you will enjoy his talk. This much assurance I can give you. Sir, if you can take over and give your inspiring talk to the students.
Yes, Ashok, is it all done?
Yeah, please
Yeah.
continue.
So let me extend you a very warm welcome. All the students were there. I'm not able to see them because I think they are in the YouTube, right? So I'm not able to see them.
Yeah, they are in the YouTube.
They're in the YouTube, but how many are there? Including IPHD YouTube attendees. Do you have any idea?
200.
Sir, about 200.
200. Okay. But that means IPHD and PhDs are probably not joined. BSMS themselves are 100. Okay. So, all right. Good morning. It's still morning. Before forenoon or just about forenoon. Just about noon time. Oh, it's already past noon. Okay, then good afternoon to all of you. I think you have to be very careful to say morning, noon, afternoon. I want to first tell you, all the students, I'm not able to see you. And that's a big negative thing in the online process. But I must say that welcome to ISAR Kolkata. This is your first day, and this is a very important day, the day of orientation. You already heard several lectures. In fact, in most of the years, my welcome address comes at the first lecture, and then the others follow. But this time we have done quite differently, and I'm coming in almost at the end. So all of you are coming from very different regions. I'm first addressing the BSMS students, and then I will talk about the IPHD and PhD. At different regions and different regions of the country, through examinations like joint entrance, advanced, or KVPY, or many of you have come through our SCB exam. In fact, you know that ISAR Kolkata was the coordinating institution this particular year. As you know that one of the ISAR takes charge of the joint admission for all the ISARs, and ISAR Kolkata took this charge this time. And we have almost completed the entire process, except for one or two courses one course in Berhampur and a couple of courses in Bhopal. Almost all the admissions are now closed. So I think most of the institutions are now going to begin the first year classes, which have obviously been delayed because of COVID, because of the exam delay, and several reasons. But at the end of the day, it's good that you are able to restart your academic career after the class 12. And I think this is a very, very good sign. And I hope that we'll be able to complete first year in time, so that by the second year, you more or less get into the schedule, which means by August first week, we actually start our semester, second year. If not in August first week, there may be minor delays, but you will be more or less on the schedule, which would also mean that you will have a tough next 7 to 8 months, because you have to complete 2 semesters. And that's a price that all of you are paying. I'm very sorry about it because of the COVID. And certainly, I hope from the next year batches, things will be on schedule and they'll be able to join in time. You have already heard a lot about IISER Kolkata, particularly the BSMS students, I'm saying, because they are absolutely new. For the IPHD and the PhD students, they have come through some educational institution after school, either BSc or MSc. And suddenly many of these things, they may be aware, at least some of these things they may be aware, but it's important that they are also kind of associated with the IISER Kolkata system. I must say for the PhD program, we are on schedule, which means we take batches, 2 batches. IPhD, we take, of course, the PhD, we take 2 batches, and we have been more or less on schedule. So I think that is something that I must tell about the PhD students, that they should not worry about it. For PhD students, hostels have been an issue, and I think that has been addressed, I am sure, by the student section. We are sorry about it, but we are building a new hostel, I must say, in the beginning, and we will be able to bring you to the campus, hopefully very soon. But the BSMS students will all be in the campus whenever the campus opens for them. Obviously, we are going through very strange times. And this is where I begin my talk. We are going through very strange times. And I wouldn't have realized that I have to give this talk twice on a virtual medium. Last year, I did the same. And now this year. The strange times because we don't know what is happening. Just as I am speaking, you know the uncertainties in the country. The way the pandemic is raging all over the world. In fact, those who have looked at the world figures, the number of cases which are affected is much more than what happened in last 2 years, total number of cases. As you might have seen, it has gone over 1 million, well over 1 million per day. And I think that's a very serious problem, the global problem. The figures in India do not reflect that at this point of time, but there is a fear that we may be also going in that direction very soon. And already there are bad signs. Medically, of course, how much Omicron will be deadly and all, I don't want to go into the discussion, but the point is that we have to avoid this. And that is one of the reasons I hope you realize that we have not been able to bring you to the campus. And we were bringing very, very slowly because those who have brought many people in the campus have regretted. So we are going through very strange times. The COVID-19, then the various variants, Delta and now Omicron, as all of you are reading in the newspapers and various social media, various internet, yeah. Yes, Sayano Viswas. I think there are questions which are coming. Are these questions are being taken immediately, or Ashok, how are you doing for the previous talks?
The thing is that whatever the students, those who are present over here, whatever they are writing, we are trying to answer it right now.
Yeah.
And those who are through your this YouTube, their questions are coming. Ornab will take care of some important questions from there, and we will answer all those questions at the end.
So how many students are here in the Google Meet?
Here, very few.
Two actually, 2 of them.
2, right?
2 of them. Okay. So they are representatives?
No, they have joined.
Okay, no problem.
Others have gone there. 2, 3 have come here. 2, right?
Okay, okay. So there is a question by Sahano Biswas, I think, who is asking about the complete, will our course syllabus be compromised? No, the answer is no. That's right. So the answer is no. The syllabus will not be compromised. So you will have the same learning. Anyway, I think we'll get back to the questions later because otherwise it will inhibit the flow of the lecture. So what I'm trying to say that we have been going through a very strange times, and I hope that we will get out of this very soon and resume normal activities, which means classes physically rather than online classes. You have probably limited experience of online classes in your schools. For the PhD student, they may have more experiences. But as you come here, you will have to initially face the burden of online classes. And that's very stressful, I must say that. For all of you, it's very, very stressful. But I'm sure that all of you will get through, get comfortable. Even for the faculties, it has not been very easy. But all of us are trying to get through and do as best as you can do. Remember, at the end of the day, the outcome of all this is to learn, not just to get grades. Grades are, of course, important factors in your life. But what is important is that you must learn. The learning outcomes are most important for us. And I hope you will be able to learn well. All of you are from different regions of the country. So one of the major aspects that you will have is a cultural integrity, which is also being affected now because of the COVID, because all of you are online. So it's very hard for you people to know each other. I think it's very important. There is a kind of friendship among the batch, which is also being affected. So in many ways, you are losing quite a few things because of this COVID. And I hope as you get into the second year, things will become better. And you'll be able to interact not only among themselves, but also with your seniors. I mean, seniors of various kinds. One of the things that you might be wondering, and that is where I really want to first address, is have you done the right thing? And I'm saying, even though I'm director of ICER Kolkata, I'm asking this question, have you done the right thing by choosing ICERs, first of all? And of course, then choosing ICER Kolkata. That's something that you may think and you may have questions. Now, this is a very difficult problem. To choose career is not easy. The choice of career comes to some people very naturally. They go by instincts. Many people go by the advice of the parents. Many go by the advice of their friends. Many take certain judgments by thinking which particular subject they're very strong. I can tell you none of this is foolproof. None of this is foolproof, and each one of us is taking a risk by taking a decision. Any decision making of such kind involves risk. But what is there in life without risk? Those of you who will be taking entrepreneurship, for example, at the end of the day, and today entrepreneurship is very, very important. We have ecosystem. We also have an innovation complex, I will tell that, where you can actually make a startup company. So all these people are taking risk. And risks are what makes you eventually a leader. You have to take risk. I will quote here very famous statement, which I keep quoting in many, many talks. A very famous talk, the quotation by Swami Vivekananda, more than 100 years back, when he said, take risks. If you win, you will be the leader. If you lose, you will be a guide. It's a very famous statement, which essentially says that if you take the risk and win, you will be a leader. If you don't win, you'll still be a guide to the other people to tell what you should do or what you should not do. So I think Vivekananda talked about entrepreneurship so many years back. And of course, entrepreneurship was there in various forms. But entrepreneurship doesn't only mean taking business or starting a company, as you might think. In a way, you are all entrepreneurs. The fact that you have taken the plunge, and some of you might have given up engineering or medical, come to the science or whatever, it has been a risk. Trust me, there is nothing much in the life without taking risk. So do not panic. Do not worry. I am saying this from our all personal experiences. In fact, all the people who are here, they have taken some risks or other in their life. I have taken my own risks. I did my schooling, and just to tell you what are the risks I have taken in my life, I took a lot of risks. I did a lot of things which normally people will not do. I'm still surviving. What are the things I did do which normally people don't do? Normally people don't do, normally. I, of course, did my schooling in what was a rather small town at the time that I was schooled in the 60s. That's a town called Asansol. It's in the Jharkhand border. Currently it is Jharkhand border. It was actually in the Bengal-Bihar border at that time. And I was actually born in Ranchi. I must put everything in perspective. So I was more or less born and brought up into that region. And after schooling with, of course, it was a Bengali medium school of Ramakrishna Mission. I went to IIT Kanpur on the strength of my IIT joint entrance examination. Now, at that time, joint entrance examination, there is no main, there is no advanced. So there's only one joint entrance examination. And somehow I came to know about the JEE, IIT JEE, because from that place in the 60s, it was even very difficult to know. There are no coaching classes. You have to remember 1960s, you cannot probably imagine now. There are no coaching classes. I must say, after I went to IIT Kanpur, I came to know of two important coaching classes, Brilliant and Agarwal. I think many of you might have heard these names, two names. I probably didn't know there was a third. I have forgotten even if there was a third. But these two were certainly the most famous, but we did not know. So of course we studied our usual higher secondary text. We went to IIT JEE. I qualified. The point is not about my qualification. Many of you will also qualify. The point is the choice that I had to make. When I went to IIT joint entrance, the natural thing to do is to go for engineering. The pure science in IIT Kanpur had just started in the name of what exactly we were doing in a different name, a 5-year integrated master's, 5-year integrated MSc. Many of you have heard this, MSc bracket 5-year integrated. That was the exact name of the course, which started in IIT Kanpur in 1971, and I joined there in 1972. So you can, and nowhere in the country, there was this masters of integrated masters. So it is not even taking pure science. It is even putting your risk on a course which has just started. And today, of course, you are going to do this course with a different name, BSMS, right? And today it's a very, very popular course. But the first thing is that very few people take science after passing IIT JEE. So that itself was a very big risk. And you may ask me the question, why did I take science? Since all of you have taken science, I must say that I have taken science as well after passing JEE, and after passing JEE in a very good rank, by which I was actually offered any engineering discipline in any of the IITs. Please remember that time there was no computer science or there is no computer engineering. So the best departments in IIT Kanpur was, for example, electrical engineering. The best department in IIT Kanpur was electronics and telecommunication. The best in IIT Madras was mechanical. Best in IIT Delhi was textile. Best in IIT Bombay was chemical. Now, let me tell you, I am very familiar with those 5 IITs at those days, which was the best at that time. Of course, there was no 6th IIT at that time. 1972 is what I'm talking about. I did not choose to get any of them. Instead, I chose 5-year integrated masters, that too in chemistry. So, of course, the counselors who were there got quite surprised that why am I taking engineering? So they told that, look, why am I not taking engineering? They told that you are getting engineering, and how come you want to do science? But somehow I could convince that I'm interested in science. And particularly the fact that I had passed National Science Talent Scholarship, that also helped in getting fellowship, etc., for doing science. So that was a very, very compelling reason that I put up. So I was giving all kinds of reasons why I should do science. Look at this situation today, where a very natural tendency had been to do engineering or medical, and people shy away from science. And I took the risk of not just taking normal BSc or MSc. In Kolkata, presidency was very famous. There was BITS Pilani, which also started MSc integrated later or around the same time. And host of other good universities for doing science. But even for science, I took the risk of going to IIT Kanpur, which did not have any tradition of science. And I took the very unknown course of an integrated master's. We didn't know what is our fate. In fact, many people would tell me that you will have a problem to even get a job in college because they had a separate marking for Bachelors of Science and Masters of Science. So I don't have a BSc degree, even today. I have only Masters of Science. So today, this is not a very big thing because all of you will say the same thing. But remember in 1972, when it was absolutely new, it was a very big thing. It was a big risk I took. And that risk is something that once I took, I said, it's not a problem. I will stick to it. But I took a conscious risk. Certain times you have to do something because you don't have much choice. But I took a conscious risk and then went ahead with the science. In fact, the fact that I passed in JEE, you would immediately realize that I was actually strong in physics and mathematics rather than in chemistry. So the counselor even asked me, why am I taking chemistry and not physics and mathematics? I actually answered, and that's a very important point that I want to tell you, is that because I'm strong in physics and mathematics, and I'm not so good in chemistry, I want to take up chemistry. I want to bring in the ideas of physics and maths into chemistry. And today you are all talking of interdisciplinary, cross-disciplinary. So the counselor was extremely impressed. Remember, I was just 17. And he said, oh, that's a very interesting thought. I said, yeah, I mean, chemists will do chemistry. They won't be able to bring in certain ideas from physics and maths. Actually, computational science, computer science was really not in my mind at that time. I'm talking of 1972. So physics and maths, and I can bring those subjects into the chemistry. So the chemistry is something which can be different, or I can contribute in research. So that was very good. In fact, today I know that had I learned biology, probably it would have been better, but I was very weak in biology. I must say I didn't really study biology in school. But today, chemical biology, whatever you say, is extremely important. So the idea of interdisciplinary science really was growing that time, and those are the answers that I could give to convince why I should take chemistry, not even physics and math. So the first question was, why do you not take engineering? And then why do you take chemistry among the science subjects? Each of them was very unnatural because among the three science subjects, I was the weakest in chemistry. I must honestly say, I hope my chemist friends are not listening. And I still took chemistry. Today, it is not an issue at this stage because we learn, and if you want to learn, you can learn any subject. The important point that you have to understand, why did you take this subject? Why did I take chemistry? Because I had an idea that I could actually bring in physics and maths into the chemistry. And this is exactly what I did later in trying to become what is now called quantum chemist. I exactly did that. And I think that is a very, very important thing that I want to start with. So somehow I took the risk. Who took the risk for me? Nobody. Not my parents, not my friends. It was more of an instinctive risk, which I had to take there. And sometimes you have to do this because otherwise there is no option, because nobody is there to help you. Today, you have a lot of help. Please remember, you can judge the institutes, you can judge the programs by very, very important reviews. The reviews which are available. And I see there is so much of discussion in the Quora that which ICER is better, which ICER is good in biology. Let me tell you, all this does not matter. What would eventually matter is you and you. Of course, there are faculties, good faculties. And I must say that was one of the reasons I chose IIT Kanpur, because it was very good in chemistry at that time. And I have been taught by legends who became legends, at least. Many of them, well, very big, and they became legends in future, like Professor C.N.R. Rao, Professor Govardhan Mehta, Professor Bala Subramaniam, Professor Animesh Chakraborty, Professor M.V. George, Professor P.T. Narasimhan. All of them became household names in chemistry. All of them became household names in chemistry. And that was the only positive input I had when I took the risk. Of course, you may wonder that did I take the risk without any inputs, but that was the only positive input that I had, that the IIT Kanpur chemistry faculty is very, very good. I went with that risk, and I'm very happy that I enjoyed learning. One of the important processes is to learn. Of course, IIT Kanpur was a very good institution at that time. And now, subsequently, many other IITs, IIT Bombay is doing well. And I must say that subsequently, I was also a professor of IIT Bombay before I joined here. After I completed my term in National Chemical Laboratory, a CSIR lab in Pune. So I'll come to that later. But the point is that I took the risk. I completed my master's. What do you do after master's? I found out that almost everybody, of course, IIT Kanpur already had a 2-year master's program at the same time. People who are doing 2-year masters, our batch, most of them go abroad for PhD by giving GRE. Basically, they go to USA. The culture of going to Europe was almost not there. Again, I'm talking of now 70s. The important thing is that I took another risk. I did not give GRE. I did not sit for GRE. I did not ask for recommendation from any of my faculties to go to USA. I decided to do research in India. There are many reasons. Some were more emotive reasons that I didn't like to leave India at that time. You know, today it may look rather frivolous, but that time it was very, very important. It happens to young people sometimes. It is not the scare of leaving abroad, but it's just that I didn't want to do. Anyway, at those days, we had very little idea of what is abroad. Again, I'm talking of 1977 when I passed out. I went to TIFR for pursuing my PhD. TIFR was a good place. Of course, all of you know TIFR Mumbai from Kanpur. But then I didn't like the work that I was doing. I was actually working on thin films. And had I continued, that would have become what is very important area today called nanomaterials. But at that point of time, this whole idea of nanomaterials did not exist. And I simply was waiting actually for a particle, what is called particle size analyzer at that time. You know, there was no microscopes and all that, you know, I'm talking of 77. Particle size analyzer to measure the thickness of the films. You know, how small, it's not a big, it's a thin film. And that had to be imported from USA. By the time the machine came, you know, those days it was a very, very slow process. In fact, my faculty colleagues, if they're here, they should know this. How much was the struggle in those days? In 1 year, nothing happened. They're still waiting for import clearance and so on and so forth. And I started working and reading in quantum mechanics. I started taking a lot of interest in quantum mechanics, the philosophy, and so on. There's a fantastic book by Fritz Capra, which I was reading, and I went to the metaphysics and so on. So I became more or less a kind of a physicist. And then I met one young gentleman at IIT Bombay who was moving to Indian Association for the Cultivation of Science in 3 months, Professor Devashish Mukherjee. I was very impressed by him. So I said, I'm going to work with you. He said, okay, then not at IIT Bombay, come to IACS Kolkata. And that actually brought me for my PhD. After 9 months, I quit TIFR Mumbai and came to IACS Kolkata. When I came to IACS Kolkata, the head of the department, actually there was an interview, as is normally true for all PhD. And in the interview, they were rather curious in asking that, how come you first went to IIT Kanpur for MSc, not engineering, and after doing MSc integrated, you did not go abroad. You went to TIFR, that's also fine. And now from TIFR, you're coming back to IACS. See, please remember those days TIFR was in hierarchy much higher than IACS Kolkata. TIFR was a very, very hallowed institution within India. Nobody does that. And I was told very clearly that I think you are making a mistake. Then I told my head of the department, who is actually no more, and I have a lot of respect for him, Professor Nihit Chaudhary. Some of my colleagues might recall him. I told him, sir, I have made several mistakes in my life. Mistakes which are perceived as mistakes. But I have gone by what I feel I should do. And at this point, this is what I feel, that I must learn this subject. Because this is where my heart is. And I believe if you make few mistakes, then you can set right. You go to one wrong direction, take another wrong direction, and eventually you'll come to the right direction. It's just like the 2 minus makes a plus. So I decided to do that, and they agreed. And eventually, of course, I did my PhD, and then I went to National Chemical Laboratory. Again, completely different from others. I did not do conventional postdoc. For those who are PhD students, they know that after PhD you do postdoc. I did not do, because I got a job immediately in National Chemical Laboratory, Pune. That's another story. So I just decided to join there. And at that point of time, except for the fact that I was in TIFR Mumbai, I did not hear about National Chemical Laboratory, Pune. I didn't know what it is. Honestly speaking, I didn't know what is CSIR. Today, my PhD students will know what is CSIR because they give NET exam. There was no NET exam that time for doing PhD. So I got my PhD because of the NSTS and NCRT, National Science Scholarship. Of course, Indian Association also used to give their own scholarship, but I didn't avail of that. In any case, I didn't know what is NCL. When I went there, I met in the interview committee 2 or 3 very respected people whom I respected. And they told me, if you get the offer, you can take the plunge. There is no group of quantum chemistry in National Chemical Laboratory, but you can try to set up. I thought that's a very good idea. So I went into a lab which I didn't know. To do something for which there is no tradition in that lab. And I enjoyed working there eventually. Of course, I was not very happy in the beginning. I mean, those are very different. But I enjoyed working there. And all my professional success, I should say most of my professional success, came from National Chemical Laboratory, Pune. I stayed there 33 years. Before I retired at the age of 60, because by the time CSIR introduced a rather tough rule that everybody has to retire at the age of 60, including director. So I retired at the age of 60 after being director of the lab. So I actually rose into the lab from the junior most scientist, I didn't bother what is my position, all the way to the director. And and in a lab where I had no idea from Kolkata. What is a lab? Imagine today how much of information you have, how much of decision making you do, which you think are based on credible parameters, and yet students make mistakes. The question is, what is a mistake? Is it perceived by you? Is it perceived by somebody else? If you don't feel it's a mistake, if you think that I have taken the right decision, you can do what you want to do. I always tell, whatever career you take, and this is very, very important, you must be good in that career. If you are a chef, you should be a world-class chef. Right? If you are an artist, of course, you should be a fantastic artist. No job, no profession is something that you should look down upon. But then the problem is, what do I choose? And that is where the risk-taking comes in. You have to choose where you feel comfortable. I could have left National Chemical Laboratory, Pune. I got opportunities in the mid-career. I did not, because I was then beginning to feel comfortable. I thought that I could do, and that's my sense. My sense may not be your sense. You have to evaluate. I thought I can do something from here, which I cannot do from another place. And I made a judgment. The judgment can be wrong. Because how do I say that I could not have done better in another place? There is no proof, right? At the end of the day, there is no proof. I did something which is called, at least in the Indian context, relative success, relatively success, whatever I achieved. But who knows? One could do better. Now, the point is that these thoughts will always remain. At the end of the day, you have to also happy. The happiness is a very, very important state. Otherwise, you cannot do. Otherwise, you cannot perform. I was happy with the limited objective, with the limited achievements that I could do. I only knew that unless I settle abroad, possibly I won't be able to do much better in any other place in India. I mean, that was my own judgment that I continued to stay in National Chemical Laboratory, Pune. I'm very happy to say, however, among all the chemistry laboratories, although I didn't know when I joined, National Chemical Laboratory, Pune is one of the great places. It was directed, the founder director of National Chemical Laboratory, Pune is J.W. McBain, who was a great colloid chemist. Remember, an American who was the first director of NCL Pune in 1950. I mean, those who are from that region would probably know some of the history. And then the second director was also from abroad. And then you had legends who have become directors. People like Venkatraman, L.K. Doraisamy, R.A. Mashelkar, who was one of the coveted Director General, and so on. And I realized that I am in a damn good lab. But I didn't plan for it. Much of it is some hearsay, some instinct, and then you make things. There is no quantum chemistry group, to be honest. What the name? So I built the group there. That was one of the challenges. The fact that I had to direct the lab was of course another challenge. And after I finished National Chemical Laboratory, Pune, I went to IIT Bombay. By the time IIT Bombay was a very, very good IIT. And I enjoyed teaching there. And halfway into my career at IIT Bombay, I actually had to come here as a director. As you can now see, there is no path which is laid down for success. And very often, and that is very, very important to quote Frost, very often you go to the path where people haven't traversed. A path of challenge. Very often, however, we end up doing the reverse. We end up taking a path which people have traversed many, many times. And I think it's very important to have that quotation. If you look at many, many people in the world who have been successful, they have often taken big risks in their life. So what I'm trying to say, for all those people who have come here, for all of you who have come here to do BSMS or even PhD, IPhD, trust me that if your mind is there, if you have taken the decision, if you want to do, you will make this into a good career. And a career is not so easily translated. A career doesn't mean, can I go to Harvard? Can I go to MIT? Can I go to Cornell? No, I'm not talking of that as a career. Please understand. Career is when you contribute something. What do you do after Harvard, MIT? I know people who have come back from MIT, Harvard, haven't done anything in terms of research in this country. I'm sorry to say this, because I have seen myself, because I have seen enough labs. So no, that is not a career that I'm talking about. Career is when you actually contribute to some research. But today, we believe our careers are made by the institutions. Whereas remember, institution is very, very important. Teachers are extremely important. But at the end of the day, your career is in your hand. So most important message to you is that do not regret. Once you have come, put your best foot forward. Do not think, oh, what I could have got, engineering, medical, what I missed. Do not think like this. Put your best foot forward and do what you have come to do. Pursue science, basic science, fundamental science. Of course, today, science has an application. So when I say science, science and its application. Just as Louis Pasteur said, that you not only have to do good science, you have to apply. And in fact, for the young students who have good ideas, we have created an innovation complex. I'm again repeating, this is a very, very new thing that happened, where you can even start a company. And today governments are encouraging spinning off, what is called spinning off company. You can spin off your own company, employ people. Remember, don't always look for jobs. Don't look for employment. You may be able to look for a situation where you will be able to employ people with your ideas. And today, young people in the country are doing it. So many great young people are doing it. And today, when you say science, science is extremely cross-disciplinary. What is engineering? What is medical? That is also science, remember. So we say engineering science, medical science. So you may be able to contribute to medicine from science, to the engineering from science. What you mean by medical profession is actually clinical medicine, medical people, those who do clinical medicine, doctors. But you don't have to be that. You can still contribute. So this is a very, very important part, because many students I know, sometimes they take a step back. After 1 year, they decide to do something else. Unless there is a compelling reason where you really feel that this is not your profession, you don't need to do that. Your belief in the system, your belief in yourself, your belief in continuing to do good science is very important. And at this point, you are, of course, going to start learning. The process of learning is very, very interesting, because we all have gone through that. Many times I can tell you, in fact, at least this is in my life, I learned a lot when I started teaching, and not necessarily when I was a student. You will realize what I'm saying later. When you start teaching, you become a very good student. Because as soon as I started teaching, I realized there are gaps. I'm trying to explain, oh my God, I don't know this. As a student, I didn't sometimes ask questions. But as a teacher, I started thinking, what would student ask? Every step they will ask. And then I started realizing, I don't know. So you become a student. You become a very good learner. So remember, the process of learning is very complex. The process of learning will not stop after you get your degree. The process of learning will continue. And particularly for BSMS as well as PhD students, I'm saying, if you get PhD, it doesn't mean it's the end of the world. As far as learning is concerned, you actually keep learning all your life. You are a student all your life. I remember Isaac Newton's very famous statement, searching for pebbles on the seashore. I hope all of you have read that. At the end of the day, Isaac Newton thought that he doesn't know. He's still searching for knowledge. And remember, a person of the caliber of Isaac Newton, who simply started the theory of gravitation, who started an area of optics, who wrote the books of calculus, he started the entire area of differential and integral calculus. I mean, how many people can boast of what Isaac Newton did? And yet, he said, I'm searching for pebbles on the seashore. That is how the great people are made of. Look at Albert Einstein. Einstein, if you look at the scientific discoveries also, you will see what I'm telling. Einstein had a fierce problem with quantum mechanics. And many of you think that Einstein was a pioneer of quantum mechanics. Yes, his experiment of photoelectric effect started quantum mechanics. He got Nobel Prize for that experiment and not for relativity or Brownian motion. And yet, he did not believe in quantum mechanics. He said, my experiment is right, but the theory which is trying to prove it is not necessarily right. There must be a much simpler theory, much more intuitive theory. Unfortunately, he could not come up with that. He was a very, very unhappy man. And of course, today we know that the quantum mechanics is alive still. That's another issue. How do the discoveries come? Remember the story that we hear. I can't vouch how much true is that. Kekule, who dreamed that the snake is seizing its own tail and comes up with the first cyclic structure of carbon atoms, benzene. Don't forget your dreams. For many, life is made of dreams. Life is made of hopes. Then there are accidents. A lens grinder discovering microorganisms. A Dutch lens grinder who didn't know anything about biology or microbiology. Somebody who discovered urea, synthesis of urea by accident. Then there are necessities. Somebody who had to discover. Otherwise, head is on the line. You know whom I'm saying? Archimedes. The king hero challenged him. Is my goldsmith cheating? And those days, kings were dangerous. He could have been beheaded. Who knows? The fact that he was so happy, eureka, eureka, symbolizes that he probably saved his life from the king. I call it a necessity-driven innovation or invention. Innovation is something else. Invention, discovery. So how do discoveries, many people, those who are doing PhD, they might wonder, how do discoveries come? Many people come and ask, if I knew, I will discover, I tell them. if I knew the answer. Many ask, how do you get Nobel Prize? There's no answer to it. Right? You work. You make discoveries. That still doesn't mean that you'll get Nobel Prize. Because Nobel Prize also has its own politics. Gilbert Lewis, a very famous chemist, who did the Lewis rule, octet rule, from whom the octet rule actually came, J.N. Lewis, the dot structure of chemistry, many of you may be knowing, was nominated, I don't know, maybe over 30 times for the Nobel Prize. He never got. He did the Lewis acid, Lewis base, an amazing amount of work, the radioactivity. He couldn't get the Nobel Prize. And many say because, I don't want to say this publicly, but because some powerful people were against him and so on and so forth. Yes, of course, somebody reminds me back home, Meghnad Saha, S.N. Bose, many people. I mean, this is not the reason that the people do research. I'm again repeating. You do research, you discover, the prizes and the recognition come on the way. Of course, Jesse Bose. I mean, there are many in India. I mean, I would not like to mention. Jesse Bose started doing his research even before the Nobel Prize actually started in the early part of the 19th century and the late 19th century. But the point is that what I'm trying to say is that the life is very complicated. You do not do anything for a recognition. And this is something that I have to tell you right in the beginning. Recognitions come on the way. Recognition has come to me. Some recognition. What is recognition is again subjective. Some recognitions have come on the way and which are okay for the Indian thing like, prizes like Bhatnagar, whatever. But what I'm trying to say that you don't work for that. So please remember, as you grow up, you have to realize that work is for your satisfaction, that you want to do something. And when you do that, you are within an organization. So when you work, the organization is enabling you to work. So there are ethics of the organization, which you must follow. Your research, your discovery is your own. But the enabler of all these is very hardly likely that today you can sit at home and do research. The enabler is an organization where you're learning, where you're doing research. I'm talking of BSMS, PhD, whatever. BSMS today also has a research component. And you must respect the organization, the rules of the organizations. And that is why all these were told to you, that the rules of the organization must be respected. And I think that is a very, very important part. I should say, while you study, be a good citizen. Good citizenship, and again, that I'm sure has been told by my colleagues, is a very important part of life. You don't get respected only because you are a good student. I'm again repeating this. You may be a 10-pointer, you may be whatever. But if you're not a good citizen, it doesn't bring you anything. So be a good citizen. Be a good Samaritan. Help people. Follow rules of the institution. But when I pursue my study, when I pursue my research, I certainly have to follow myself, what I should do. My own instincts. And not necessarily what my friend is telling. That is what I'm trying to tell you. A very important part is, apart from following rules, is ethics. I'm sure this has been talked about, and we will have courses on ethics in science. But I must say that today the ethics has become an extremely important thing for the students, for the researchers, for the faculty, for everybody. One of the important parts of ethics is the plagiarism. Or I would say one of the important parts of non-ethics is the plagiarism. Please do not plagiarize. For research students, when you publish papers, please remember this. You cannot copy beyond certain lines which are defined from anywhere. Not from your own paper either. That is called self-plagiarism. Even that is not allowed. You cannot take any table. You cannot take any figure. If you have published a figure, that becomes a copyright of the journal. Without that, you cannot do. Of course, there are open access journals where it's easy to access. But that's a different matter. There's a due procedure. You can discuss the numbers of a table or the figures in a text in another paper as a background work, but you cannot reproduce. There's a difference. So please remember, there are copyright violations. You should not copy paragraphs. You should not copy a published paper, your own paragraphs from a published paper. Self-plagiarism. Images and everything should be honest and truthful. As far as the BSMS students, as well as first year PhD students, PhD students, copying from somebody else is also plagiarism. Today, because of the online teaching, that has become a very huge issue because we are not able to do monitoring. So please do not copy. Because as I told you, the whole idea of a course is to learn and not necessarily to get grades, not necessarily to go to Harvard or MIT or Cornell. And I say this with my own example. I'm not saying you cannot come and tell me that, oh, you are saying because you are not a good student. I was a good student. I didn't choose to go abroad. The fact that I went into JEE means I was a good student. But I never got that into my head. For many people, that gets into the head early in life. And I have come to ISER, I have come to IIT. Now these are all my demands. Nothing comes easy. Every single step is filled with thorns. One doesn't bring the other. And as I told you, two wrongs can make you right. Two wrong decisions can make you right, bring you to the right direction. So do not think that anything that will happen, everything will happen because you are here. You have to struggle, you have to learn, and not just get grades. And if you don't learn, those grades will mean nothing. So please try to learn. Even though it's an online process, our faculties will engage with you beyond the classroom if you want. Online engagement, and you can learn from them. That's a very, very important message that I want to give. Ethics, which essentially says, do not copy, do not plagiarize in any form, and fulfill the entire gamut of scientific ethics, because it has become a very important issue today in our country. And that involves copying in the exam. Because we have seen this during the online regime, how people are flouting rules. You not to do this because it doesn't help at the end of the day. If in a class everybody gets A, it does not help. I can tell you. It's very important that you learn, you engage your teachers in learning process. If you learn, you have interest, everything else will come into place. Whatever you want to do, you'll be able to do. And you have to take risk, of course, in decision making. That I told you, all your life you have to take risk. Even today, we have to take risk. Even when I came from IIT Bombay to IISER Kolkata as a director, that was a decision making. Should I go there or should I stay in IIT Bombay? For me, it was a tough decision because all my life, except for the fact that I did PhD in Kolkata, I never lived in Kolkata. This is the first time I'm coming to Kolkata, and this is also a little bit remote. Should I go there as a director? There's a lot of responsibility. And I can tell you confidentially that salaries don't change much. So it cannot be because of money. Many of you may think the position with which I was there in IIT Bombay had almost the same salary, or even more actually, I would say, for different reasons. But you took a decision. The decision can be fraught with problems. So the decisions you have to keep taking anyway. But don't think that this is the decision which is right now. And to make that decision right, you stop learning and just get grades. That doesn't justify your action. I hope our IT policies have been told. I was hearing. I must repeat, if that has not been told, I must say this. If it has been told, I must repeat that please do not send emails in mass to a large number of people, what is called mass emailing. We have to be very strict about it. This is a very bad culture. If you have a problem, please email to the concerned persons to fix the problem and not a mass mailing. It's again, as I told you, the institution rules which you should follow. It comes under the IT rule that not only spam emails don't touch it, etc., but even mass mailing is not allowed. I have taken more than my allotted time. But may I say that I have been able to tell you what is a life here. Of course, that is going to tell what is your life as a careerist, as a student, and what you can do later. Remember, of course, I didn't want to tell what others have already said, that we will try to provide you facilities. When you are in campus, we'll try to have an active campus life and so on. As of today, of course, you are at home. And only the PhD students will be coming to the campus. So they of course have to do research. And I'm sure I will get an opportunity to address the PhD students separately because many of them will be coming to the labs. So we'll see them. But PhD students in the first year, BSMS, most of you will start completely online, and we will try to bring you to the campus as soon as possible. So we'll provide you all the facilities of campus facilities. I should end by saying that IISER Kolkata among the IISERs is doing very well in terms of NIRF ranking, in terms of ranking by the Nature Index, in terms of even Times Higher Education. If that means anything, that IISER Kolkata is a very competitive IISER. Among the IISERs, it certainly competes very well. And I should say, I have been also involved, I've been happy to be involved earlier with IISER Pune. The Pune and Kolkata are generally ranked as the top two IISERs. And this we have seen in terms of admissions also. This time I was also the chair of the admission board. I have still been the chair of the admission board. It is not yet closed. We have seen that repeatedly, years to years, for the students also, the two most attractive IISERs have been IISER Kolkata and Pune. So remember, you are in the right place. Our teachers and faculties are very good. That is the reason students have kept choosing. Despite certain disadvantages in terms of location, in contrast to IISER Pune, which is located in a very prime locality. Despite that, many students come here because our teaching faculty has been very good. So take advantage of that. Feel proud. Don't regret, oh, I could not get into IIT. That would be a terrible mistake. Or I didn't go to medical. Once you start, continue. Life is anyway full of risk wherever you go. It's not easy to measure the risk, though statisticians try to do that. This much percentage, that doesn't mean anything. The percentage is just a percentage. It does not apply to you. For you, when something happens, it is 1. It does not happen, it is 0. And you are the soul. Remember, you are the person who can create destiny for yourself. Trust in yourself. Be competitive, but in the right spirit. Compete to learn, compete to gain knowledge, so that when we go out of IISER Kolkata, you can be a proud alumni. You can be proud. We can be proud of you that you have been here. I hope all of you will be able to meet together very soon. Maybe after August, I hope, in the campus, and know each other even more. I'm sure that you already have probably made a group of 21 MS. And today it's very easy in the WhatsApp and so on. But please, I tell you, I have come from a generation where there is no email, nothing. I saw the technology change, and I'm very proud to say that our generation has seen maximum technology changes. You know, when I was in school, there was no telephone. There was this old handheld landline, mostly for local calls. Calling outside the city was a pain. You had to go to, companies, telephone exchange, who will put you through after half an hour. Can you imagine? If I had to call from Asansol to Kanpur, you had to wait. Then came the STD. It was a great innovation, we thought, STD. We can call any city with a code. There was no television. Trust me, there was no television. When I was in school, I didn't watch television. Yet, I was a great fan of a lot of sports activities. If you come and ask me later, I will tell you all that happened in the 60s. The important events of sports. Because there is a radio. And the radio is much, much better sometimes, I feel, than the TV, because you can imagine after hearing. TV stops your imagination because you already see what is happening. I used to follow BBC, German radio, whatever, not just Indian radio. I had all the news. Yet, the television came much later. And then also, there was only one television in one locality. People used to go. I still remember people used to flock to see the World Cup football, or cricket match, and so on. And then, television became more of a household thing in the 80s, when I had already a professional. I saw a terminal, believe me, the laptop terminal or a desktop terminal, after I finished my PhD. Would you believe that? And I am actually a computational chemist. A person who is a computational scientist had not seen a computer till the PhD. Why? Because it's not necessary. What was important to be a computational chemist or a theoretical chemist or a physicist was to learn the theory and be able to apply them, write algorithm, codes, which does not require computers. So we could write. Then we used to go and feed with what is called card readers. Some of my colleagues will recall. There are cards for each line. And that cards used to be typed and somebody used to take it to the computer centers. They started coming. In fact, TIFR was one of the early centers along with IIT Kanpur. I still remember 1970s when IBM came. 1970s, first IBM came to India. It was amazing how things change. I did not see a terminal. When I went to USA for postdoc, I actually, for the first time, saw a desktop terminal. I didn't know what to do, but I know how to write programs. I used to give somebody who will type in the cards and feed it to the computer. I don't know how they feed in the computer. So I asked my colleague, what do I do with this? And I had to write a program and I used to write in pages, right? Then they said, no, you can switch it on. I said, how do I switch on? He told me how to switch on the desktop. Would you believe that? I was 31. I was 31. That was 1986. I have revealed my age to all of you. I then started learning computer. Of course, I knew programming. So I became by 6 months, I was a compulsive programmer who was always sitting in the front of the computer. In fact, those who do coding, you can ask them. The coders, they become mad. They become obsessive if their codes don't work. So I wrote very, very big programs. I became completely computer person, programmer. And that was required to do good theory. Then, of course, laptops came. We didn't have laptops. In NCL, I bought from my project first computer, PC 486. You cannot believe today. And just before that, NCL had a machine, which was HP machine. I've forgotten the name, Hewlett-Packard, which had 2 MB RAM. Can you believe? 176 MB hard disk, 176 megabyte hard disk and 2 megabyte RAM. And believe me, we published at least 10 papers. Well, even by that standard, we were out of touch because in US, things were already much ahead. We had to compete. I learned email only after going to US. And by 90s and the late 80s, email started coming to India. I still remember that time, we used to have a dial-up modem from NCL. It used to go to Ayuka. Many of you know Ayuka Pune, the Inter-University Center. That was the center. From Ayuka, it actually used to go. So when Ayuka people informed that all your emails have been sent today, we were so happy. We cannot imagine today the way people misuse emails. I cannot imagine the life that I had gone through. Mass mailing, can you imagine? Ayuka used to always say, oh, you had 100 emails from the whole NCL. It's too much for us. And how are you misusing? Do the facilities bring a better quality of life or worse quality of life? I saw emails coming. The internet was not there. The World Wide Web came in the turn of the century. Social media was not there. My first mobile was in 2003 when I bought a small Nokia at the age of 48. Trust me, I was already an established scientist by then. I didn't need a mobile. Today, I may sound an old man talking about this like an old man, but these are facts. These are facts which I'm telling. In 2003, I bought my first Nokia 1100. I'm telling you, many people know this model also. The very small Nokia model, just you can telephone. Smartphones, and of course, they came. And by the time when all of you bought smartphones, I also have probably had smartphones. Because we had all the technology, and yet I'm always on the email today. So you cannot say I'm an outdated person, right? I mean, those who know me, they know how much I'm on the email, how much I'm on the mobile, and how much I respond, how quickly. But what I'm telling is the fact, just to say that you don't have facilities doesn't mean that you cannot do. Your ability, your accomplishment, your achievement has to be done by you under despite conditions. So in summary, I saw so much of technology changes in my life, and we have adapted to it. And I'm very proud to say this, starting from generation where there is no telephone, no STD, no landline. We have come this far. It's an amazing thing. It's an amazing India in which you are now living. India which provides you facilities. India which provides you the latest technologies, which was not there in our time. A technology in USA would take a long time to come to India. Think of email. Today the technologies come in a hurry. But what do you do with them? That's the question you have to ask. Are you only going to explore technology, or are you going to do your work? Please remember what I'm telling. The technology is as good as you. Use it. Technology should not overwhelm you. Because many of you will be obsessed with the technology, browsing internet, this, YouTube, Netflix, whatever. I don't know what you do. But just remember that all these eventually take your time. And time away from precious work. Sometimes I believe some of us became successful, some of us did well, just because these were not there. Maybe it is true, I don't know. Challenges were there, but these provocations to waste time was not there. And today you are, in that sense, a very difficult situation. But in another sense, you are living in a wonderful India. India which wants to be self-reliant. India which talks of Atmanirbhar Bharat, Atmanirbhar Bharat. India which is trying to lead, as you can see in the COVID. India is a country which is leading in the vaccination campaign. Where can you have 140 crore vaccinations? You are living in wonderful times. Please utilize that. We did not get these opportunities. What I did not get, you are getting. So my fervent request, please utilize these opportunities. Be a good citizen, be a good Samaritan, follow rules, be ethical in all senses, and do good work, do good studies. And whatever you do, you will be rewarded. I always tell something, that the goddess of Saraswati never cheats. If you put in your hard work, you will be rewarded. But please do that. I wish your journey at IISER Kolkata will be extremely successful. When you go out as an alumni, we will be proud. We will be proud of you. You will be proud of IISER Kolkata. That's the synergistic situation that we want. With that, I would close my comments. If there are questions, I will take up. And best of luck. Good wishes during your stay for all the 3 batches of BSMS, integrated PhD, normal PhD students. I should appeal that since the courses are going to happen online, please attend classes. I should end with this very simple message at this point. Please attend classes. Please do not only depend on recording for future. Recording has a limited purpose. In the class, when the teacher is explaining, that is very, very important. Please do not rely only on materials from Google, web, and do it at the end. Please attend classes. And that is the message with which I will end. Good luck to all of you. Happy stay. Those who are staying in the campus, those who will come to this campus eventually, and a good time, IISER Kolkata. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your inspiring talk. I am very sure the students have become very much inspired out of that. Now I would like to request our Assistant Registrar Academics, Dr. Susmita Bhattacharya and Mr. Arnab Sadhukha, to see the chat box of YouTube and choose a very few questions out of that, because it is going to be 1:30. So students students are waiting for their lunch. So 1 or 2 important questions from there, please, quickly.
Yeah, somebody has asked about the Inspire SHE Fellowship. Subhajit is there. Can you explain to them?
Subhajit probably is not there, but Dr. Bhattacharya is there.
Yeah.
Dr.
Thank you,
Bhattacharya, can you
Sandeep.
explain that?
Can you
Yes, sir.
explain? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Inspire SHE Fellowship. Somebody asked.
The Inspire Institute Fellowship is sent from the institute itself. Once you are admitted to the institute and we get the cutoff list from Inspire, we will send the eligible candidate list to Inspire. So you no need to fill up any form. The institute will do the needful for the eligible candidates.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Any 1 or 2 questions from YouTube?
Thank you, Avishruta.
Mr. Arnav.
Is Arnab there? I'm not sure.
Yes, sir, I am here. Most of the questions which are related to computers, I have already replied them.
Okay. Somebody has asked here, Aditya Raichodhuri, can you explain about summer and winter program? So, Ashok, you want to say something?
No, in that case, I would like to know very detailed question, exact pinpointed question. What is exactly the question?
Question is
summer and winter program.
Program.
What do you mean by summer and winter program? There is summer internship. Students from here, they can generally they go outside the institute, which eventually is encouraged by our funding agency. But during this period, this pandemic period, eventually this summer internship was a must as per the funding agency norm. But for last 2 years, they are simply waiving all those. So there is no requirement as such. But for first year students, I will tell that up from second year onwards, probably you will not get much time to be with your parents. So what I tell that don't go for summer internship or anything in the first year. You have your exclusive 2 semesters in 7 months. So yeah, anyway, that you will not be able to go. But in general, from second year onwards, you can go outside the institute. Maybe you're online or even offline to do some kind of summer internship. And this summer internship actually from there you can learn lot of things what are not covered within our curriculum. And this again may be a platform that if you go somewhere and do some kind of good research work, then probably the person with whom you are working may give you some good recommendation whenever you will be applying for your PhD work. Sometimes even that very person can be your supervisor for your PhD. Sometimes students do summer internship with our faculty members also. So all those things are there. And winter is very short period. There also people do some kind of internship also, but people generally do summer internship. I will request Professor Rongit Bhattacharya if he wants to add something on that.
No, you have already explained it very nicely. I mean, I have nothing else to it.
Thank you.
Sir, there are few questions on the allotment of courses of English and philosophy. Some people have been allotted both the courses, so I think so that can be taken care by Arnob, or we can look into the matter and then inform the students.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am, that we are looking into it.
Okay, Sayano Viswas writes, oh, this was just a comment on my speech. It was outstanding or inspiring. Okay, thank you, Sayano, for your good comments on my message. Sayandeep Roy has written, what about practical classes? So,
practical
Ashok,
classes, yeah, practical classes, we are starting with online classes. We know that practical online is a bit difficult because sometimes hands-on experience is really very essential. But looking into this pandemic situation and the way this Omicron is increasing, so we have decided to start our practical classes online. And once situation improves, then definitely we will ask the students to come and do hands-on experience.
Okay, thank you. Obishruta Maiti again. Will we have separate batches?
I don't understand what is the meaning of this.
Exactly understand the question. Will we have separate batches? So, Obishruta, can you clarify that?
I think he wanted to mean whether the practical will be organized in batch-wise or all the students will be in
if this is the question that eventually we have left to the instructors, and instructors will inform the students that whether it will be batches or together, whatever, it is up to the instructor.
Okay, okay. So, Abhishek, I hope you got a clarity on that question.
Let us take one or two questions from YouTube if it is there.
Yeah, YouTube actually, Subhajit told me there are a lot of, I don't know, a lot of messages are there, whether they're questions or simply appreciating my message, I don't know. But that's what Subhajit told me.
And they're appreciating your speech. They're very inspired by it.
Yeah, so those, that I came to know from Subhajit. He just now messaged me.
They thanked you. They thanked you. And there is one question I can see. Other than KVPY and Inspire, are there other scholarships asked by Shuhash?
Yeah. So any answer?
Yeah, there are quite a few. I will request Dr. Bhattacharya to explain on that because there are different state-wise scholarships as well. Dr. Bhattacharya, can you tell a couple of those?
Yes, sir. The students can go to the National Scholarship Portal where they can find all the scholarships offered by the state and central streams, as well as number of scholarships are offered by the state governments. You can just check up the eligibility criteria and apply to the academic cell with all the documents. We will surely forward your application if it's found eligible.
Thank you.
Then
any other questions?
There is a question that can they do the summer internship in the institute after first year?
Yeah, that eventually we have told that after first year, you people will not be able to do that because in July eventually will be your second semester will end, and from August again we have to start our third semester, second year. So you will not get any time, but in general, answer is yes.
Right.
But it is not yes for you people.
Right. They would like to also know, I mean, how they access library. Can they do it online?
Dr. Tiwari, can you please answer this question? Dr. Tiwari?
Yes.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, please.
The question is, can the students access library online from outside the campus?
They can do it only after the VPN access. VPN access is to be, say, configured by the computer center only. We have given the procedure how to approach it. Just they have to write to a system administrator or something like that. But the problem is that I spoke to Shahid. He was telling there is a limitation on that. They cannot allow for the freshers to be there.
Okay, thank you.
Only after the VPN access. Yes, I can hear you. Yes. Say configured by the computer center only.
No, somehow your message, whatever you told, probably is coming again as echo. I don't know how it is happening. But anyway.
Can I write a message? I spoke to Shahid. He was telling there's a limitation on that. I spoke to Shahid, but then it may not work. He was telling that it is limited because it is given to the research scholars only.
Okay, okay. Yeah, because of different technical problems, probably we cannot allow all students to have online access to the library. I hope it is 1:30. Sir,
there is only another question on access of softwares like MATLAB or Mathematica from outside the campus, which I feel I can answer. Sure. At the moment without using VPN. And
there was one commercial software which was given on trial access, which was giving
all our research students.
Yeah. Sorry, yeah. I actually was somehow switched to the YouTube also, so there is a bit of an echo. But wanted to see their questions. Yeah, I wanted to see their questions actually on the YouTube. So I also went to the YouTube on the same computer. Now, there are a lot of questions about the library access online and whether they can, what about the books? So I can tell that, of course, books and all that will be referred by the our faculties. The question is how they will access those books in the library. That is one question. Dr. Tiwari, have you answered that?
So since our VPN access has got very limited access to the students outside, and even our faculty members cannot access the library material from outside, there are some commercial softwares available in the market. IISER Mohali and Bhopal have already tried with that, and they are subscribing to that. So that can be tested upon. If you say that, I can ask for a trial access.
Yeah, so Baki, this is an issue that is going to be there for online. Yeah, Rangit wants to say something on this.
Yes, most of our teachers for the first year, they provide the lecture notes and class notes. So I mean, at least the basic reference material will all be provided.
Yeah. So I think some of their textbooks will be very common textbooks, will be available somehow or other. Some of them are freely downloadable, not all. So you have to again do mix and match, because this is the tough times in online that you are not here and library access is a bit limited, as our librarian says. It is there. And what about the software? Vishruta asked, what about the software?
All software that we recommend to our first year students are free and open source. You can install it without any cost from at home, no problem.
Right. So, but they cannot access our softwares which are installed here. They can access on their own laptop, right?
They can access on their own laptop.
Yeah. So
in the first year, they don't need to access the computer center.
Right. So some of them want to use MATLAB and all that.
So shall I try with some commercial software, sir, or not?
No, you come back to me. Let us see. Let us discuss this.
Okay, sir. Okay.
This is a commercial software.
I would like to give one message to the students that as far as using library is concerned, at downloading different books or online books, whatever books will be referred by the concerned instructors, you can ask the instructor that if you can get it from freely available somewhere online, it's fine. Otherwise, you can ask the faculty members. Sometimes the faculty members have soft copy. Sometimes, even if it is not from inside the campus, we can download it from the library side, and we can send it to you. All those things we can do for you.
No, sir, but for downloading means scanning the whole book as such.
No, definitely not. Chapter wise you can download whatever is required for the students. Yeah, definitely not. Definitely not the whole book.
See, once again, there are copyright violations. This is the
Yes,
same
sir.
thing I was talking. So you have to be very careful.
Right.
Okay, you have to be very careful. So
Yeah,
we will
here
try
actually
to.
I will tell that once you are back to the campus, you don't try to download the complete book. The problem is that if you do so, it is quite possible that you may be suspended from using your library
No, sir.
access.
No, sir. That is not the case for ebooks. If at all we have some ebooks, they can download any n number of books. There's no issue on that. Only problem comes then when they got systematic downloading of periodicals. Then the system gets.
So I think there's you
There
probably
is
are
some
not
noise, but
hard.
I didn't get exactly.
No, I think what he was telling that it is not true for ebooks. For the ebooks, you can.
Yeah, it is for journals only. The
Oh,
systematic
okay.
downloading
It is
is
for
not
journals only. Okay. Sorry. Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Then it's fine. Students
For
can download.
ebooks, there is no problem.
Ebooks, no issue.
Avishruta asked, what about using, what is it, BOK?
It is, Sci-Hub is asking, Sci-Hub is permitted, but we cannot make it officially allowed. That's all.
Yeah.
Anybody can do it from any sources. That is the free ebooks.
From YouTube, yeah, if you can get access to MATLAB through YouTube, I think there should not be any problem, right? Rangit?
They probably will not be able to do that.
I have a feeling.
They can get all MATLAB related videos from YouTube and they can watch that, they can learn MATLAB, but in the first year, they do not need MATLAB as per our current curriculum.
Okay. So you really would not need MATLAB at this point.
Yes.
But it is good to know if you can know about MATLAB from YouTube.
Absolutely. We strongly encourage their learning all stuff that they can manage.
Yeah, so look at other questions in YouTube. Are there any other questions apart from this online access of?
Yes, sir. There are a few questions on from where the student can get the bona fide certificate. So that there can be, you have to write to the Dean of Student Affairs office and you can get the bona fide certificate from there, sir.
Yeah. Somebody wants to get admitted. Jitendra Narayan. Can you admit?
Yeah, you can admit, but thing is that if students come through ISR email, then there is no permission required.
Yeah, but
so there is another question on what would be the eligibility criteria for Inspire. We have not yet received it from the DST, sir. So once we receive it from the DST, then only we can answer this question.
Okay. Yeah, anything else? Which is different, I mean.
Most of the questions are related to scholarship, which I think we answered more than once.
Yeah. I think scholarship and online access of books,
yes,
softwares.
Yes.
This is what I saw. I know. So anyway, the chat on the YouTube will remain, right? And the comments.
I think so.
Comments
They will be publicly available.
Yeah. So we can also see later and try to answer, if something is.
Yes.
Then, sir, can we?
Yeah, I mean, if there are no other questions, it's already late, so we can close 1:40. It's a long orientation program. So, yeah.
Thank you, sir.
If there are no more questions.
I thank all the students and all other whosoever have joined. And thank you all. I am going to close this, right?
Yeah, and let me thank you all. Let me thank also my team at ISR Kolkata for this, as somebody said, wonderful orientation program. It has taken a lot of effort because everybody had to present. So I think the students should appreciate. And of course, so all of them, I thank Dean Academic Affairs for kind of conducting it. And also all the other deans and the Rangit, Arnab, who are all there for the computers and librarian, of course. So I think it's very good to kind of see, and the heads of the departments for telling about the departments. So I think it's very important to know that. And many of my faculties who have joined here, I must thank at different points of time. And again, good luck to all the students. So Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you,
you,
sir.
Dr. Tiwari.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
When do you get the academic calendar? It's already there, right?
Yeah,
Aditya,
academic calendar is already there, and
Yes,
Dr.
sir.
Bhattacharya is going to send it by email
Yeah.
to all the students.
right.
Yes.
Sandeep Rai, yes, ICERs do provide astrophysics course, yes.
Yes.
Right,
In
Ramjit,
the-
at a later stage. I
in
don't
the
know which
level
area.
4. In the
Level
level
4.
4, they have to wait a bit.
Yeah. I know there's a lot of interest in physics, of course,
That's
in
true.
general.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Okay, thank you. We are closing then?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, sir. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.